Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am here to finally play in the Bigmoon Bash this weekend. I know it's a 2-day event, but I haven't had time until now to play in it. And thankfully, I get to stream it today, which is great because I haven't gotten to stream it in a long time. It's been a couple months, I think. So yeah, I'm excited to get started. Again, thank you to everybody who's joined so far. And so just to explain kind of what I'm going to be doing for this stream. So I really want to get to the 5-star rank first with my planned team. And then after that, I plan on fooling around and trying some other people's teams and just some fun stuff. So just before I get started, I figured I'll just kind of talk through the team I'm going to use first. Let me pull it up here. I also pinned it to the chat for anybody who wants to look at it in more detail while I'm playing. I know before so I have a kind of a new stream setup here. So before I had like a huge sidebar like showing all the details and everything, but I don't really want that while I'm playing. So I pinned the link in the chat for anybody who wants to, look while I'm playing and stuff. But just to talk through again what I'm planning to get to 5 stars with. We'll see how it goes. So we got a rally team here, no surprise. I love playing rally, and it's worked out really well for me in the past. I haven't played rally in every Bigmoon Bash, but a lot of the ones I did play rally, I did really well. So I figured, hey, might as well try it again. And so because this bash is a themed bash, you have to have one of the 3 starters on your team. But thankfully, Hopra is a pretty fantastic rally beastie, honestly. Not having, rally the move directly, but has access to both Faith and Excited Pass. I decided to run Excited Pass, but also just high spirit attack. Just kind of works generally well in a rally team. So basically, I took kind of one of my older rally teams and kind of morphed it and modified it a little bit based off of the recent patches and fitting Hopper onto the team. So kind of to go over the game plan here, this is definitely an aggro team. It's an offensive team. And the idea is not necessarily to just one hit knock out everything from the very start, but it's kind of to just do big damage and just kind of continually snowball and do more and more damage until you do get a point and score. And then just try to keep up that momentum. So, the first thing is trying to boost up with Apostle here. So challenge is a big damage move, but it also raises the opponent's spirit and body attack stats. But because of Apostle's ability, it actually gets to copy those boosts. So it's essentially gets to run a full powered attack while also boosting itself. With a minor downside, but again, you can control what you hit, so it's usually not too bad. And then for the actual moves, besides that, I got Raw Fury to both ignore redirection and ignore shields, and potentially to ignore enemy defense boosts, which can be relevant. So it just covers a lot of situations where it might be hard to score a point otherwise. And then shield is just to keep it around for as long as possible. Again, the idea is not necessarily to just immediately score from, 0 to 1 hit knockout. It's really to try to continually get boosts and to stay in as long as possible to make use of those boosts, right? So that's where, I have shield on Apostle here, but I also have shield on both Hopra and Heliath, which are my other 2 attackers. And I also have Noizard for redirection support. Getting noisy when it switches in. So it's really about, get my attackers in there, set them up in a good place, either boost them once or twice or get rally on the field to boost their damage, and then just try to keep them in as long as possible. So as far as supporting goes, Cheerilee is my other lead most of the time, just because it both has a front row sideways move that forces the opponent to respect it and move up to block it. But it also has, Faith just to boost damage with a volley, but also has, the core move of the team, Rally, which is boosts all spirit damage. So really just is there to amplify my damage as much as possible, in addition to, the cheerleader trait, which is really good. And then basically to round out the team as far as what backup BCs I have. So Heliath, probably most people are familiar with, it has a very similar moveset to Apostle here, and it does extra damage if some other beastie on my team is wiped. So either when the opponent has scored or if one of my beasties gets drained for some reason, I'm against a stall team or whatever. Basically, Heliath is a perfect closer to basically come in and finish off the game. So I am running Hopra. Hopra can kind of be either more supporting or more offensive. I decided to go with a more offensive variant after trying a couple iterations for Hopra. And here's specifically why. So sometimes there's going to be situations where shield can't save me. Let's say there's a provoke or something like that. And I'm going to need to switch something in. Switching in Heliath is not really great, especially if nothing's wiped on the field. So I kind of wanted an attacker that could switch into that slot and immediately be effective. And Hopra with Excited Pass is kind of the perfect beastie for that. So first of all, as far as like defensive stat spread, you notice I have a Apostle with max body defense and also Cheerilee because I really wanted my starters to be really strong against body because the rest of my team is pretty weak, especially Noizard. But to kind of complement that, Hopra has, much better spirit defense and, significantly better mind defense also. So it kind of helps some of the situations where Apostle would want to switch out anyways. And then Hopra is able to switch in, take a bunch of damage, potentially activate the high spirits trait from being on low stamina, which is great. And then be able to get a double boost with both Excited Pass and Faith. And then potentially be able to just immediately one-hit KO after that. And so, long story short, it's a backup offensive beastie that is constantly at a threat of switching in whenever the opponent has a big attack. So I think it's fit into the team pretty dang well, which is nice. But we're going to see how it performs today. And then lastly, what I haven't talked about, Noizard, again, doesn't really need an introduction to a lot of people familiar with the scene, but redirection's just super strong. Be able to get noisy when you switch in to just draw the attacks to you. It's really good. It's good for, saving the attacker that's at the net from getting one shot. And it's also good for if you can't safely get to the net to block a front row move, just be able to pull it back to you to the back row. Just super useful. It goes along with my game plan of trying to keep my boosted attackers in there as long as possible. And then So it no longer has forward pass from some of the previous patches. So I decided to give it slice to have another way to give front row pressure. A lot of times Norzard will switch in for Cheerilee. So that kind of means I would lose my front row pressure if the opponent's trying to camp in the back row. So slice is a way to cover for that. And then obviously provoke, fantastic for just general disruption. It's really the only disruption on my whole team, so it's really important that I have some way to deal with, troublesome support moves and defense moves. And then finally, it's a second source of rally, which again, really important for my team to have. So that kind of rounds it out. And I think we can just hop right into it. I'm going to go ahead and hide that. And let me go ahead and add the team code up here. And yeah, let's go ahead and start finding some matches. All right, find a match. Let's see how this goes. So I've been a little bit rusty. I've tried to play some matches against some casual matches in the Discord against people just to kind of get back into it. But yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Also trying to stream and play at the same time is always a little bit dicey, but we'll see. That's okay. I'm here for a good time. So, all right, get our first match here. We're against a Sylusk team, but it's kind of an unusual team here. So they have Sylusk, really dangerous mind attacker. Good news is Rally can reduce the damage of mind attacks, but the thing is they also have a Plumask and a Hopra, which both are usually pretty good attackers under Rally. So this is kind of an interesting kind of mix of mind attackers and potentially spirit attackers. My guess is most of their attacks are mind, and Plumask just has like ego boosts that can do a lot of damage in Rally. I assume Hopper is more supportive here. So, I mean, we're just going to start with our normal lead. There's nothing like crazy here that I think I'm going to have to deal with. I assume this is just going to be kind of a high damage team that I have to deal with. So, okay, so they're running Heartbreaker, Rainbow, Meditate. So this is kind of the slower, kind of just constantly boost and get more and more powerful over time, as opposed to like the Perfect Shot variant, which can do a lot more burst damage, but again, it takes two actions to use. So Meditate is potentially a problem here long term. I'm gonna go ahead and just shield. Okay, so we do see the rainbow start. Shield, gonna reduce the damage there. Not really any reason not to use shield here. So I have a couple options. They don't have any defense moves that are super threatening here. I could Raw Fury. Actually, Raw Fury will be able to do more than half. I was thinking I could set up a Rally to reduce the damage, but that would allow them to start getting Meditate up. So maybe I just immediately go for Raw Fury here. You know what? Let me... Okay, they also have Galaxy Brain. I was seeing if they had Anticipation. Let me go ahead and just set up Rally, because it will both boost my damage in future turns, but it will also reduce their damage, so it's kind of a great thing to have in both cases. Okay, so they did move up to block the front row move. So again, we're gonna almost certainly see Meditate, Tactical Pass, and then a big attack here. So we got the Rally off. So it's a matter of, are we going to see Heartbreaker or Rainbow here? So I think I'm going to just switch to Noizard here. Because again, I want to keep my Imposter as healthy as possible. Oh, actually, it is also getting the defense boosts from Meditate, which is actually quite nice here. So I have a couple options. Oh, I'm not even boosted at all. I'm realizing here. So I'm trying to think what I want to do here. I mean, Raw Fury still sounds pretty good. I only want one more turn of Rally, though. Yeah, let's just go ahead and Volley and Rally. So Challenge obviously does more damage and will boost me. But if they move back, that could potentially be a problem. I'm gonna go ahead. You know what? I will do Challenge. I assume they're gonna move backwards. Although, okay, we just see the block. So that means this was the correct decision. Just to get the little bit of extra damage here and to boost me, which is pretty nice. So Rainbow and Heartbreaker are the options. The nice thing is Heartbreaker is not going to... What are they? They're already at +2. So 40. So it's going to be... Oh, this is... that's actually really close. Heartbreaker might be enough to knock out my Noiser, but I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and use Shield. I'm going to stick with my plan of just reducing the damage that Imposter takes as long as possible here. Man, I'm still not quite in KO range here, which is unfortunate. But so here's the good news. The good news is Challenge would be enough to take out Demolipede, but unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna work here. All right, I think I just have to double Volley and then Raw Fury here. So it's almost certainly going to be a block here. I'd rather get them down as low as possible here. Oh, we saw a shield. Interesting. Okay. I'm surprised that they went for shield instead of block here. Okay, so what are we looking at? So the question is, are they going to go for Heartbreaker or are they going to go for Rainbow? So I would rather that Noiser gets knocked out here. So it's a little risky leaving Noizard in here, actually. So I'm going to switch out to Charlie. And I'm going to go ahead and just take the knockout here. So there's a couple of reasons why I did that. So the question is, what kind of attack are they going to use? So I do kind of want Raw Fury here to get around the redirection. So I'm going to just put Heliath in here. Okay, so they do go for Rainbow instead of reducing my damage here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I never checked to see. Oh, they have Grit and Hunker and Rally. Okay, so if I'm getting Silusk off the field here, which I do want to get Silusk off the field, just because it, you know, is probably the biggest threat on their team. But I also don't really want to click Rally. Wow, that did a lot of damage for barely being boosted at all. Okay, so they have Dump, but they do not have Forward Pass, so they can't actually get to the front. So I don't have to worry about that. Which means it's just going to be shield time, I think. I don't see a reason to do anything else. I assume we're going to see Tactical Pass Numb Shot. That's what I would guess. But let's see. Oh, okay. Game audio is a little loud. Let's see if I can fix that. Okay, how about now? Hopefully game audio is a little bit better. Okay, so we kind of have another guess here. Whether they are going to switch out into something else or what they're gonna do. So obviously, you know, I could go for Reach Shot here. Which is great if they stay in, but the problem is then I have to deal with Dump if that's the case. So I'd rather just stick with the plan and just keep hammering that slot. Okay, so here's another option actually. Is I could use Comeback. But I feel like that's a little risky because if they do hit shield, then I kind of just lose. Like, it's a really bad situation. Okay, so they do switch in Hopper here, and they do have Rumpus as an ability, not High Spirits like I do, so I don't have to worry too much about this. Okay, so they do have Excited Pass. They have Excited Pass and Tactical Pass. So Super Commit 33 plus 16 is going to be 49. So technically I survive this. Do I have to worry about Rocket? I don't think so. I think I survive a Rocket also. Okay, so they just did Drum for a little extra healing, which is fine. So as long as I'm able to do over 50 every turn, which I'm not. Well, actually, with another boost, I'll be able to do more than 50. I think I'm just in a good spot here. I think I'm gonna just get their whole bench really low. Yeah, because they don't have a defense move on Hopra. So yeah, I'm just gonna Raw Fury. Like, I don't see any reason not to. So yeah, this is the strength of Raw Fury here, is I'm just able to just, you know, pretty consistently get knockouts here. Okay, so here's a question. What do I want to go for here? So technically I do more damage. I guess I do technically more damage here. So maybe that's where... Oh, but the problem is... Okay, so I do not want them to be able to use Hunker and Grit. So I'm going to go and still target this slot, because I really want to reduce the total amount of damage they can do. And the good thing is I don't have to worry about their defense boost. So I think I just shield, and again, I want to buy as much time as possible here, basically. So let's go ahead and just shield here. Yeah, I don't see any reason why not to. Okay, so here's a decision. So okay, so they do have Stirring to reflect any feelings here. How much does this rocket do? Oh, that rocket does a lot of damage. Okay, so what I'm gonna have to do next turn is I'm gonna have to switch out into probably a Posser here. I'm trying to plan on my turns. I mean, the other option is reach shot, but I don't think I even want to try that. I'm not threatening a KO this turn. And Grit is nowhere near threatening a knockout, so I can just, I think I can safely click Rally and just keep attacking. Again, I'm trying to minimize the amount of damage that they can do while, you know, maximizing my damage. So again, here I'm going to have to switch out. There's really no other option here. So the question is, what do I switch into? So, I mean, both of these options do have shield. Hopra is going to get online a lot faster. But I'm kind of think that they're going to go for Rocket here. I'm going to switch into Apostle here. Okay, so they did try to defensive boost, but that shouldn't be a problem here. Because Raw Fury, you know, Raw Fury is still going to be more than enough. In fact, Challenge is also going to be more than enough. It's really only going to be a problem if they switch into Hopper here. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and Volley and Faith. So the question is Raw Fury or Challenge. So the problem is if Challenge, then they will get a damage boost. And again, I don't think I need to boost my own damage here. Again, I could try to like do something fancy, like go for a challenge into Demolipede, but it's a really high risk play. Because again, I don't want them to be able to activate Grit with their Nervous there. So I'm just going to keep hitting the slot. Okay, they use Block. Is it enough? All right, we got it. First game down. That I'm going to be honest, that looked a little sketchy there. Because I did lose the first point actually. So it's definitely a little nerve-wracking there, but that's okay. All right, now I can catch up on chat. So I have a hard time reading chat while I'm playing, you know, because I just want to stay focused. So let's go ahead and just try to catch up on chat a little bit. So why did I switch out Charlie when I could have made them stay in the front? Silas would have been defenseless. So I think, if I remember correctly, it was a situation where my Apostle was low enough that it could have gotten hit by Silusk. So I didn't know if they were going to use Rainbow, which only targets the back row, in which case I could have moved up and then, you know, Charlie would have taken the hit and everything would have been fine. But they also could have used Heartbreaker and targeted Apostle, in which case moving up will just make me explode. So, you know, I could have played it a little bit more risky, trying to keep trying to keep Charlie in and not switching to Noizard so early. But I kind of figured switching to Noizard was definitely a safe play. You know, I could continue having Rally up if I needed to. And obviously it worked out that time. I thought I could win a longer game in this case, so I guess it worked out. Hopefully I'm remembering that situation enough, but that's kind of what I was thinking here. Yeah, so can the team code block be made smaller, moved elsewhere? Oh, is it blocking the moves? Okay. Oh, I also forgot to switch which side it was on. That's kind of funny. Yeah, let me see if I can make this a little smaller. Yeah, I wasn't sure what size I needed it to have and have it still be readable. So let's see. Bottom right could be a good, actually, that, you know, that's probably a good idea. I was thinking, so first of all, I should have been on the right side here. I was trying to, again, new stream setup, right? So I was trying to see if like I can have my overlay stuff be on the correct side of what of where I was actually placed in the match, because unfortunately it does kind of put you on either side just somewhat randomly. You're not like always on the left or always on the right, so I don't know. We'll see if this works out. Again, I'm experimenting with some things, so let's see here. Yeah, lack of Sidewinder. Okay, so yeah, so you noticed I was able to just stay in the back for most of the game there. So this is kind of a good matchup just in the case that I don't have to use Noiser to draw in front row attacks, because they don't really have any front row attacks. They did have Dump on Illigus, but again, with some good targeting, I can basically eliminate that. And And that's one of the reasons why Sidewinder is often a popular choice with Demolipedes on aggressive teams, is because Demolipede itself has like okay body attack, but it's not excellent, and there's not any great ways for it to boost its damage by itself. And oftentimes it's there to protect the actual damage threats, right? Not to be a damage threat itself. So Sidewinder is a great way of having a move that can threaten the front row so that your main attacker doesn't have to have a front row move itself. And that forces your opponent on defense to think, oh crap, do I need to move up to block the Sidewinder, or do I need to stay in the back to reduce damage from, you know, their main attacks, right? So, oh, you forgot about Raw Fury. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, Raw Fury is such a nice flexible move. It really just covers so many different options. Just be able to cover, deal with their redirection, deal with their defense boosts, and to go through shields. Like, it just covers so many situations. It's fantastic. So obviously the downside is its low base power. So it's, you know, Raw Fury is not often a primary attacking move, which means you do have to use two slots for your attacks. So there are some trade-offs, trade-offs in team building, but I have personally found on BCs like Apostle that are really good at getting boosts, like it's not a problem. Okay. I see an interesting Daredillo team here. This is awesome. I love to see less used beasties like Daredillo. I might be trying my own Daredillo team out later, depending on how this goes. But let's think about this for a little bit. So we have Daredillo and Bandicraft as the leads. So Bandicraft obviously is going to be really good at boosting Daredillo with stuff like, what's it called? Demanding Set. That's the one. So it's going to be really good at that. Daredillo itself is pretty fragile, but it can still try to stick around, especially with this much redirection. So I'm just going to stick with my normal lead. Let's see. Yeah, so I seem to recognize this team, which is pretty funny. But yeah, so basically this team that I'm facing against. Okay, so I'm on the right side, so this is good. I also realized my camera is actually blocking some of the stamina on these beasties a little bit. So they have to start with Relentless. I don't think I'm going to shield here. Just because it wasn't going to do that much damage. So I wasn't like super worried about it. Okay, so here's a choice here. I can use, let's see, if Raw Fury, why am I even looking at Raw Fury? So actually being able to serve into this, or like receive against this team is really good, for sure, because this is definitely kind of a fragile team. So I believe, so this will put me at 91 and then 120. So that should be enough. So I should be able to Faith and Rally, and this should be more than enough. Okay, it was 111. Oh, that was the Charlie math there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just Raw Fury into here in case they get redirection. Okay, they just take the wipe. That's fine with me. Okay, so Daredillo is the main attacker. Really, the only other big attacker is Supalero here, which can use Juggle, Juggle, Dive. But the good news is both of my attackers out here are actually really strong against body attacks. So I feel comfortable. I can just use Challenge here. Okay. So they have Noisered. So the reason why they're keeping in their Daredillo here is they have Relentless, so they can still attack. So I can't just... Normally this is a really bad play because a wiped beastie can't use any of its plays normally, but Relentless is a special case. The good news is they cannot use Slice here because they cannot volley back. So it has to be Relentless. In which case, I'm going to shield here. I don't know if I really need to. Oh, okay. They just provoke, which is fine. So the thing is now I'm going to be able to Raw Fury again. Oh, see, now they're in a really tough spot. So this is basically a 50-50 between whether I can just target Daredillo with a Raw Fury, or I can even target the Noizard instead if I think they're going to switch out the Daredillo. So what am I? I'm at plus... I'm effectively doubled here. Oh, but this is... Okay, so moving up is not going to be enough. Alright. We went ahead and just went for challenge here. Wow, 99. Look at that. Okay. So yeah, we're going to see Relentless again here. So we're going to see forward pass Relentless. It's not enough to take out a Posser here, but it is enough to take out Charlie, maybe? Actually, wait. No, it's not. It's not enough to take out Charlie. So I could switch in. I could stay in, but I don't think I need to. So my Posser is +2. I'm actually going to switch in Hopper here, just because I want to be really healthy. So I don't want to throw this game. That's basically, I do not want to throw this game. I want to be able to win basically from here on out. I don't want to give up my lead for no reason. I guess is a better way to put it, right? So because of that, so they can't use shield because they're at 1 stamina, and shield will not save you at 1 stamina. So I think I just continue to hit the back here. So as long as I can continue to 2-shot whatever's in the back, then I believe that should be a guaranteed victory, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to boost anymore. I'm already at +2 and I'm at the net. I don't need any more damage. Okay, there we go. All right, so we got the win. So that kind of might have seemed like a meme team. Again, that team really doesn't want to serve. It's a lot more threatening when they're the ones receiving. So, you know, that is what it is. So, yeah. Managed to hopefully, you know, not throw that one away. So again, I did realize my camera, it was kind of blocking some information here. So I'm going to make this a little smaller. Oh, and this way I'm not blocking the timer either. So that's good. All right, now I can catch up on chat. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, Raw Fury is in fact the GOAT. Hey, Ashley, thanks for stopping by. And also, hi, Kim. I didn't say hi, Kim. I haven't said hi to everybody because there's been a bunch of people jumping in. One-shot Noizard, yeah. Oh, man. Well, the funny thing about that team that's a little scary is Hyper Spike is enough to one-shot Noizard with Demanding Set. So, like, yeah, I definitely need to be a little worried about that. Yeah, Reach Shot is always a threat. See, that's the great thing. It's like, I never need to click Reach Shot, ever. But the fact that it exists has to, you know, opponents have to respect that, right? Because it's a valid option. And I guess the cases where I'm really incentivized to click Reach Shot are times where they have a defensive move that I really don't want them to use. So like, let's say, for example, they have Heat Wave or something on one of their beasties, and like that's their main way of doing damage. That's a case where I might consider clicking Reach Shot. Just so that if they do click Heat Wave, I get a point. The downside of Reach Shot, yes, obviously getting no touch points just feels really good. And I mean, just scoring for basically free is good. The only downside is if they guess correctly, you did 1 damage. And assuming, you know, sometimes the Shook is good, right? Preventing one of their 2 beasties from attacking is potentially useful, especially if, like, let's say they have, you know, supportive beastie that has a sideways move, then they move to the net, they take a Reach Shot, now they can't use their sideways move, I'm safe to sit in the back, right? There is potentially advantage from that, but again, my team is really about doing damage as much as possible, so Reach Shot is kind of usually my second option, right? If I don't like any of my other options. So yeah, challenge to the front looked like it was a one-shot on everybody at the end. Yeah, but yeah, definitely potentially. I don't remember if that's when they had a shield or block option or anything at that point, but again, I possibly could have won earlier, but I didn't want to throw away the game, right? So one of the things about being consistent, at least, okay, this is my opinion, you know, not necessarily fact or anything, but if, you know, if I'm in the lead, my objective is to minimize the amount of counterplay and basically prevent my opponent from ever coming back in the game. So, you know, cases where if it was an even game or if I was behind, I'd be much more willing to take risk to try to like get a big advantage. Because I kind of need to, especially if I'm behind, right? But if I'm already ahead, I'm okay as long as they don't have any sort of inevitability, like they made my beastie sweaty and I'm like, I have to finish the game before all of my beasties get drained. In those, you know, in other cases where I'm ahead and I don't see like a clear way for them to come back, I'd rather just play it safe and like eliminate any potential options, right? So that, yeah, that's kind of the way I think about it. All right, let's move on. Let's find another match. All right, we're receiving again, so we've been pretty good. It's the Hello Fishes. That's good. Okay, so they have Bendiva, Brosliden, Orgella, Bandicraft, Noiser. Okay, so they have an interesting team here. They have potentially 3 beasties that could use dump with Bendiva, Brosliden, and Bandicraft. Orgella is the bane of any stall team's existence to fight against, but thankfully we don't have that problem. But we don't know if it's a support or an attacker. And, you know, Bendiva could be Thief. It could be Majesty or whatever that trait's called, the lower spirit attack. So they're serving. They could have like Spitball or something or not. They could have just Sneak Attack too or something like that. So this is kind of interesting. I assume this is going to be a more offensive team. Okay, I actually have to see what side am I on. I am on the right side. Okay, so I don't have to change anything for the overlay. Okay, so they do have Majesty. Ooh, they have a quick set Hyper Spike pump up. Ooh, that's kind of brutal. So that means they're guaranteed to be able to use Dump next turn. All right, so here's the question. Do I think they're going to Spitball and to Apostle or Charlie? I have to imagine it's going to be Charlie, right? I'm going to move up. So the reason I'm moving up is they have front row moves that can be potentially hard to deal with. And I do not necessarily want to, you know, give them free reign over the front row. So Noiser's really powerful. You know, having redirection to pull attacks from anywhere is great, but I want to save that. It's a resource, right? If I can position myself correctly ahead of time, I'd much rather do that. So unfortunately, I can't. I really cannot prevent this quick set here. So what am I more worried about? Hyper Spike or Jump? They're both pretty scary here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to minimize their action economy here. And when I say that, I mean, I don't really want them to be able to both provoke and quickset. So here they could volley, provoke, and then hyper spike. Wow, that's actually kind of... Oh, wow. Yeah, hyper spike just deals with everything, huh? Okay, so this immediately becomes like a 50-50. This is really tough, actually. So I'm forced to kind of take a risk here. So I just have to kind of guess to see what they're going to do, see if I can save this point. Okay, so I did guess correctly. Again, definitely a really difficult situation. So here's the good news. The good news is they are now tired. And I got their other beastie low. So what that means is, okay, they can still free ball for 60 power, which is not nothing. In fact, it's definitely enough to potentially be a problem, but I get to stay in. I get to potentially keep my boost here. So unfortunately, I think my only play to really keep my momentum here is to volley challenge. So the good news is most of their attackers on the bench aren't like super duper scary here. Okay, I'm actually gonna go for a bit of a risky play. Okay, so they actually just switch into Noiser because they really didn't want me to KO them. That's kind of an odd choice to me. That's a really odd choice to me. So, okay, obviously they have free ball, right? And free ball is enough to knock out my Apostle. But like that's it. So first of all, they'd have to guess correctly a 50-50 if I move over. Wait, free ball does 52 to my Noiser? I don't know if I want to take that right now. Okay, we're just gonna take another risk here. I'm okay. I'm okay losing a point here. I believe if I'm calculating the turns correctly. Okay, so they guessed correctly. That's fine. So again, this way. Oh, they are gonna be not tired for the next time. So again, the good news is we did get 2 of their BCs like really low on the bench. And especially their redirector on the bench is really low now. So I'm pretty happy about that. So the question is, who do I want to switch in? I think Heliath is the obvious choice, right? Okay, so I have a couple decisions to make. What is my damage looking like? My damage is looking good, but not amazing. So what do they have on this Bandicraft? Demanding set? Of course. So yeah, Hyper Spike is a big threat here for sure. Okay, I think what I have to do is this. So this looks a little weird. I'm behind. So I had to take a risk here. So they did keep their Bro Sliding in. So the good news is they can't Hyper Spike, but they can still Free Ball. So they still have Free Ball and they still have Rattle. The good news is, though, that does kind of play into what I want to do here, which is to switch out anyway. So the reason why I moved up is I was afraid of them switching out, into, a beastie with a front row move that I couldn't really deal with, which I guess they wouldn't have had because they only have Dump. So maybe I didn't have to do that, but I'm in a really good spot here because I just got an Excited Pass Super Commit with High Spirits activated. So they don't have shield on their Bro Sliding, so this is literally a guaranteed knockout. Because they don't have any more redirection. Yeah, they don't. So yeah, they'll probably use Stinky. Stinky is a great way for them to take the momentum back, forcing me to free ball. But this is definitely, so this is still good for me, for a couple of reasons. Okay, so do I want them to be able to double provoke? I still have to hit, what am I? I'm at 28. I'm going to free ball the other slot. I'm a little worried. That's what I was worried about. I was like, I really don't want them to be able to get a dump off. Because getting a front row move off here is like super dangerous. Okay, they have Majesty. They do not have Thief. And there's no forward pass. Okay, I'm just triple checking. They cannot use dump this turn. Okay, so we don't have to worry about the front row, which is great. They have Provoke. That's the problem. Is they have Provoke, so I can't shield to save myself here. So I'm gonna do it. I'm cashing out that Noizard that I've been saving that Noizard's stamina this whole time. Wait, are they provoke? Oh, because I freeballed. So yeah, they can double provoke. Okay, so this is fine. So we're getting Noizard in here. We saved the stamina on Noizard for this exact reason, so that it can come in and take a not body attack. So now here's the question: do I move up? So they have okay. So here's one small issue. They have double provoke. So and I'm at 3 angry. So I will have to switch out Hopper next turn. So the question is, do I want to move forward? How worried about Relentless am I, or Minefield? Not a ton. Wait a minute. No, that's too risky. Okay, so let's just go ahead and. Oh wait, I messed up. I realized I can't actually go for it. Oh, they actually. Wait, did they time out? That's really funny. I realized. Okay, so I'll tell you what went through my head. I was like, oh, I'll just attack, and when they switch out, then I'll switch Hopper out when they try to counterattack me, right? And then I realized, Super Commit makes me nervous. I won't be able to switch out. But it looks like they timed out, so I would have actually been able to do that myself. So we're gonna switch out to Heliath here. Okay, so that was not my best moment, but that's okay. 54. All right. So, okay, so they did get their beastie back. Man, this is tough. Man. I think it's time. I think it's time to pull out the secret weapon. Well, we'll see what they do here. I'm still so thrown off by the fact that they didn't switch last time. Okay, we got it. We got it. All right. So that's where Slice on Noizard really pays off. Okay, yeah, Frosty, I thought you typed out. That's really funny. Okay, so it's funny. We both had brain farts on the same turn. I had a brain fart that, oh wait, I'm not gonna be able to switch out my Hopra if I use super commit. But then you had a brain fart where you just timed out and didn't switch one of your beasties, so I would have won there. But yeah, ended up. So that's where, okay, obviously Noizard is not a big attacker, right? Noizard is not known for doing damage. But, you know, Slice, it has 60 base power, which is like okay, but again, it can target the front row, right? So you know, it's one of those things where if they're both in the back road and they have to switch out and they don't have redirection, then again, they have to respect the front row. And in that case, it actually knocked out their Bendiva and it almost knocked out their own Noizard. So like, I felt really good about that being a good situation, basically, no matter what happened. I think the worst case scenario there is they could have moved up Noizard. So Noizard took the hit. Noizard would still survive, and then they could move up Volley and dump with a Bendiva. So that would have been a 60 power dump. But we were both at the front row, which means I could have switched out Noizard into something else that would be guaranteed to take the hit. Well, actually, that's not true, because they could also spitball. Okay, so basically, if the read was correct there, the game technically wasn't over, but I felt like I was still in a good position. And again, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Especially in late game situations that are really tense there, I just want to kind of maximize the chance that I have a good outcome, right? So, yeah, you actually plan on moving up last turn? Yeah. I mean, that would definitely would have made a difference too. Yeah, it's tough, right? It's tough. That's just one of those things where like be able to process all of that information, you know, quickly is really tough to do. So, all right, I guess we are moving on to the next match here. I'm gonna take a drink of water. Remember to stay hydrated, everybody. Don't want to get dehydrated while you're trying to play Beastie Ball. So, you meant to tag in Bandy instead of tagging in Bendiva. Oh, when I got that point. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so that was a really interesting match, for sure. Like, the Hyper Spike was... It's funny. I feel like if I had to serve to you, like, I would have gotten destroyed. But maybe that's not the case. So I don't know if you noticed, but my team has no counter serve. I don't have, you know, I don't have Battle Cry on Hopra. I don't have a Protector Fruffolks with, you know, fetch them for a partner to get a +4, you know, counter serve, big boom play. So the reason why is I feel like in 2-point matches, you know, be able to receive instead of serve is inherently an advantage. And I feel like if my team receives, I should have a good chance to win without having all of these other fancy, like, counter serve moves on my team. And I'd rather have moves that are good if I have to serve, right? And so basically in games where I feel like I'm going to be at a disadvantage because I have to serve, I'd rather just, you know, build my team around that. As long as I don't have any, like, really weird... I'm trying to think of, an enemy serve that is like a big problem for me. The thing is, I do have shield to deal with Twist. Twist is potentially a big problem for some offensive teams that don't run shield on their opener, because then they just get hit by Twist and they can't attack, and like that just ruins their whole game plan, right? But that's pretty rare that they both don't have redirection and they don't have shield. But you know, it potentially could be a good thing. Um, so like so I will say, um, you know, some of the best serving moves like launch or sneak attack probably are better than what I have. But I do feel like there is a decent, you know, distinct advantage of being able to serve with challenge with both does at least reasonable damage. Like usually it's like 30 or something, right? Um, but also be able to boost myself immediately. I feel like I can afford to do that. Um, because I have Noiser in the back, right? So even if they have some crazy front row move pressure, I can still switch in Noiser to cover the front row. And the good news is if they have something crazy like Hyperspag that Noiser is weak to, both of my leads have max body defense. So there's at least a reasonable shot I'll be able to survive. Um, Again, if it's a +1 hyper spike from Riplash, okay, maybe I don't survive, right? From launcher Riplash, I should say. Maybe I don't survive. But pretty much in a lot of other cases, I at least have a decent chance of surviving. And if I really need to, I have Raw Fury as a serve to deal with enemy redirection. So that's the other saving grace. Raw Fury is actually a pretty good serve itself. Okay, so we got Voltoxin, Raptor, Goofster, Armantis, Bandicraft. Okay, so we're actually not seeing. Okay, well they could rotate their team, but they don't have Armantis in the front. So basically, what I'm seeing from their team that could be leads, it could be Voltoxin, Raptor, or it could be Armantis, Bandicraft. Basically, Sneak Attack is a very good serve. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here. I have no idea if Thamaraptor is going to be Clamor or not. This looks like an offensive team, just to put it out there. Goofster is almost always on aggro teams. I don't think I've ever seen Goofster on a stall team, ever. It's just like everything on its kit, except for maybe one of its two traits, is, you know, just offensive oriented, right? Goofster can be an attacker itself, or it could just be a supporter. But like I've never seen a Goofster on a stall team, right? So yeah, we have perfect shot, slice cheer. Okay, so we know what it is. And it's Goofy for sideways damage. Okay, so Goofster. So we need to save Noiser to specifically deal with Goofster. Okay, so we were right. So we do see this Armantis with sneak attack here. So we're gonna see sneak attack like immediately. I think I'm gonna click shield, just to prevent some damage here. So they do get to the front. So I'm moderately worried about Ricochet, because Ricochet does do a lot of damage. But there is also Zigzag. But okay, so they have a mind team, right? Everything they have is mind. This is a case where I personally think that clicking Rally is worth it, right? So this way, okay, so they have monster block, right? So that's annoying, right? It's annoying because now I have to switch out. But that's okay. They don't have any front row moves. And now they can't attack with their Ricochet. The best they can do is lay trap and quick set with Zigzag, which, you know, it's going to do some damage, but it's not going to like blow me out of the water. So here I'm just going to switch to Hopra, and, you know, I'm going to take some damage, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. And so now they are both at the front now, which is probably good for them. So now the question is, what do I want to do? So I do have super commit Hopra. So what I'm worried about is, can they KO me back if I don't KO them? Which I do honestly, I think Zigzag is the bigger threat. I'm actually less worried about Ricochet, which might sound crazy. Okay, so the downside is they do get to double lay trap if they do that. But I think that's just something I have to accept. So, all right, so they're not gonna get KO'd here. But okay, so the good thing is they don't get, well, they got an easy receive. So yeah, they could double lay trap Ricochet, but you'll notice Ricochet actually doesn't do that much damage. They didn't get the, you know, they're not jazzed or anything. And I have Rally up, so this Ricochet is actually not that scary. I honestly think Zigzag would have done more damage. So they either can volley to get Ricochet damage up, or they can double A trap. I'm going to go ahead and shield here, again, just to reduce damage. Okay, so they did decide to boost their damage here. Okay, so they're targeting the other slot. That's fine. Oh, wait, I messed up. This is the... Okay, learning experience. Playing against Monster Block. I really have to make sure that I don't do this. Okay, so this is a little awkward. Of course, the damage previews aren't going to really help me here. I'm trying to think if I can move my Hopper up, or like, what am I going to do here? Okay. So I should have switched out last turn instead of shielding. So this is my best shot. So the reason why I'm doing this, they'll probably switch out. Okay, good. So this is a rare case where the Shook from Reach Shot is very much helping. Because they're goofy, not the other trait that makes them immune to feelings. So they still have Ricochet pressure. So I could switch out. I'm actually really glad they didn't double trap last time. So I could switch in Noizard, but I actually really don't want to. So again, it's one of these cases where I really don't want to switch in Noizard until I like really have to. So I'm just gonna switch in a Foster here. Okay, so they do a bunch of damage, but like, and now I can just Excited Pass Super Commit again, and again they're just gonna explode probably. And it's even worse than that, because I don't even have to attack with Hopper. That's a thing. So and you know what? Actually no. I'm gonna do it. So they could block. And if they block, I'm in a little bit of trouble. But I think it's worth the risk because they really want a monster block, right? They really want to get use out of their trait. Well, actually, what am I talking about? It doesn't matter which one they block with. Oh, and now I can't switch out. Okay, so this is probably just a score by them. Okay, so basically, what am I worried about? And how do I come back in this game? So I can shield with Hopra, but the thing is, Ricochet also KOs Foster here. And they also can just slice. So I think this is a case where I just have to take the knockout. Yeah, definitely the mess up before with Hopra, with Monster Block on Hopra, and I didn't notice, and I didn't switch it out. Definitely a potential issue. Okay, so they actually just went for the no touch point, which is probably better for me. So the that's about to run out. So that's fine, and I'm still fine there. So this is a little interesting. How much does my super commit do? It does a lot. I think I can just end defense. I think I just take it. So now I'm in high spirits range. So I just double volley super commit. So obviously they do have Maraptor, and it does have Clamor. Okay. So, but this is still going to be a buttload of damage. Okay, so they did go for just the monster block. That's fine. So here's a question. Who do I want to target? The problem is with Cheer. Cheer is really tough to deal with. I think I have to free ball over here, and then I'm going to have to switch out. Okay, I'm trying to think how to order this. So I should be able to attack again once the Shook runs out. Oh, yeah, and they have... That's actually an interesting choice. Are they going to double Cheer Echo Strike? Seems like an odd choice. Okay, we're cashing out, by the way. Wait. They do not have any anti-redirection. No, they don't. Okay. So we have to cash out now because they could slice or they could just do a big attack. We don't know. So we have to get Noisered here. Yeah, so we see the slice. Not a big surprise there. That's 50. Wow. So, I mean, we basically have to click Rally. Like, that's the only option here. So we're going to Volley and Rally. And then we're going to have to... Okay, I actually think we're in a good spot. I think we're in a really good spot. Okay, yeah, we did it. All right. Whew. Whew. All right. Man, that got me hyped up. That was really close. Oh, man. Sorry if the that was a little too loud on the mic. Man, that was a tough game. I definitely misplayed there. But thankfully the strength of my team was able to carry me. And yeah, we got the win. Again, that's another case of like saving Noisered until the very last second where it's like critical. Like I have to have Noisered, otherwise I lose the game. That was definitely a case. Okay, Mike was fine. Beautiful. All right, now I get to catch up on chat. Hooray. Let's see. Messing around with Crawlark this bash. Playing something else now. Yeah, I saw your Crawlark team at least like posted on the Discord. I think it looks really cool. Crawlark is always something I've struggled with because I feel like both of its traits have good use cases, but it's just they're narrow enough that they seem hard to like set up. So, oh, you've been playing another game. Okay. But yeah, like Crawlark just seems to be like slightly hard to set up so that it's just harder to build a team around it as opposed to like some other attackers that are just more generally useful. But I think it's awesome that people are actually playing Crawlark. The one time I tried to play Crawlark was on a kind of whack Feint team. Feint and Pierce. Pierce is the attack that does more damage depending on how many debuffs they have. And I will say the team was like really nasty if you couldn't disrupt it, but as soon as you could disrupt it, the team just didn't do any damage. Like it was really hard to build a team that had like solid damage normally and then also had Pierce as like a really big threat that the other team had to play around. It wasn't consistent enough for me to want to bring it to like serious competition, right? But it was a really fun team. And so I think it's awesome that people are exploring Crawlark and like finding new ways to use it. So, all right. So we're gonna just keep finding matches. Again, so the goal is I'm gonna take this team until I hit 5 stars and I get my rank, and then after that, I'm gonna start playing just some other teams that I think are fun and cool. All right. So we are against the Bandicraft team. We have Garud, Bandicraft, Bendiva, Tortanker, Riplash. Oof, man. So the thing is, I look at 4 of these 5 beasties and I'm like, oh, my team has no problem with this. And then I see Riplash. I'm like, well, crap. So they have to serve to me, which again is good news for me. But they could either run like a spitball serve or they could run launch. So I don't really know what to expect here. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, I didn't notice the team code there. That is kind of funny. Okay, so they are going for a spitball lead. Okay, so they have Rocket. Rocket ignores redirection, so I have to be careful about this. Noisered will not be able to save me forever. But the good news, no Hyperspike. So because it's Spitball, I assume almost for sure it's going to be Charlie, but I'm going to shield anyways. So here is the question. Do they have any front row moves? They don't. They actually have 0 front row moves, which is really interesting. Am I worried about any switch-ins or any... They actually... Wait, they don't have any boosting moves besides Bandcraft? I'm not... Okay, I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what they're going to do here. I think I'm just going to start my game plan of just starting to boost up and do some damage. So, okay, so they didn't switch. They're still doing what they're doing. Oh, so they have Shanty. Okay, so it's not a captain. I should have checked that before. So they could provoke Charlie again, or they could just spitball into Charlie again. I think either way, I'm okay. I think I can just pass the turn again. Yeah, we do see the provoke and the boom. So they are getting their rhythm up. So they're going to start to heal, but that's okay. So immediately, I could move up and try to get a knockout here with challenge. The question is, if they switch into something else, am I putting myself in a scary situation? And honestly, I think the answer is probably not. I think I'm pretty comfortable in the front row. And so the other reason why I think being in the front row is okay right now. Okay, wait, let me double check something. Thump. Plus 20 is going to be 61. Okay, so I'm still safe. Sorry, I was just doing some math there. So the reason why I think being in the front row here is actually not too bad is Charlie's actually the one who's a little damaged now. So being able to use block feels a little bit nicer now. Okay, so I don't know if it's going to be a heartbreak or a boom. But the problem with boom is I just don't really care about the damage. It's going to be a lot scarier to deal with Heartbreaker if they decide to go with that. So I'm actually going to just block this Garou just in case. Okay, they didn't. That's fine. Okay, so good news now. Okay, bad news is both of my beasties are going to be kind of low here, which is not a great situation to be in. But the good news is I both get to do Faith and I get to click Rally. So Rally is really good against their team just because they have 3 mind attacking beasties. I mean, okay, I guess Bandcraft has Minefield, which hardly counts, but... and yeah, look at this. All of a sudden, I have enough to basically KO everything. So I'm going to go ahead and take the point here. I could, like, try to get some extra damage by going for Tort Anchor, but, like, I don't want to push my luck. Especially because this Garou, again, be able to do nasty stuff like, you know, Nettle on an off turn. And it's just potentially pretty scary. So, here's the question. What does Rocket look like against my Charlie? Looks pretty bad. So here's a problem. If I use Challenge and they switch in Riplash, Charlie is gonna get KO'd. I'm actually just gonna use Raw Fury. I'd like to get another... Oh man, I missed a knockout. But you know what? I think that's okay. Yeah, I think this is okay. Actually, how much does Boom do? Oh, Boom does 9. Oh, actually, but here's the thing. So if they decide to use Boom on Charlie, then the Quake damage would knock out Apostle. So I really don't want to do that. I kind of want to just keep the momentum up here. I'm at -1 damage anyways. I'm just switching out. Oh, we saw Boom, but not into the slot I expected. And this is actually better for me because now I can super commit. Yeah, this is actually looking fantastic. So I could do like a cheeky reach shot or something like that, but I just don't like really need to. Well, I guess, okay, so here's the thing. Neither of the beasties that are on the field right now are, like, threatening at all. It's kind of a tough decision, actually. Nah, I'm gonna stick with my original plan. I'm just gonna be clicking super commit. Oh, okay, they have a shield. I gotta be honest, I didn't even really think about that. So that is my bad. Okay, so Oh man, see, this is the problem with this is the problem going up against Quake. Is, yeah, my Charlie is pretty low also. Yeah, this is, I gotta be honest, like, I'm actually not looking so good here. I do not like my position. So it's so funny how quickly that can turn around, huh? All right. Okay, I'm moving up here. And basically, I'm just gonna keep attacking until I get KO'd. That's basically it. So I could go for Tort Anchor. The thing is, like, I just don't want to give that other slot any chance to, like, move up and do damage. Rocket Thump. I don't even necessarily care about that. The thing is, Thump puts me into KO range, or puts me into high spirits range anyways. Wait, how much? Oh, yeah, this is the problem. Yeah, I'm actually gonna just block the other. Okay, so they are going for Rocket. Oh, that might actually be enough to KO. No, it's not. Okay, good. But it puts me in Quake range again. Man, this is the problem. The only good news is I only need one more. I only need to score one more point. Yeah, I really have to carefully consider what I'm doing here. Okay, they have shield again. Raw Fury is not enough. Man, this is really nasty. Yeah, I think I'm actually just gonna hit this Tort Anchor now. So I might have, like, you know, it looks like I'm still doing good damage, and yeah, that's great and everything. But, like, yeah, I'm just really worried that, you know, they're eventually just gonna whittle down my team and make it so any Quake damage is just gonna wipe my partner, and then I will not be able to play the game. Which is a big issue. Alright, so we have to block Tort Anchor again because of the Quake potential issue. So we're just gonna, again, if they want to knock out... Oh, wait, crap. I didn't see if they could knock out Hopper with that. Okay, it doesn't matter. They just take the KO onto Heliath. Okay, so we are switching to Noizard. Right? We have to switch to Noizard, right? Yeah, we do. Okay. All right. Not the best situation, but could be worse. Yeah, this is definitely a tough spot. What do I do here? Yeah, I feel like I gotta go for this race. I actually feel like I'm losing. Okay, I got it, but I did not deserve that win. I did not deserve that win at all. That was definitely scary for me. All right, so I really got to think about what I did wrong there. So, okay, so here was the issue that happened. The issue that happened is they were basically able to keep whittling down one of my partner beasties to below, 25 stamina or below, and then, setting up Quake. Yeah, that was definitely a big issue. The problem is I got to the point where I had 3 beasties at 25 or below. And so, yeah, and the thing is, as soon as I start having drained partners, like, I'll never be able to do any damage, and I'm just going to immediately lose. So like I had to try to figure out a way to get around that. So I guess the more I'm thinking about it, the more I feel like I needed to have a beastie in the front and I needed to be able to just click block a lot. I think that's what I had to do. So that's one of the downsides of having basically no sustain whatsoever. And, you know, it kind of gets down to the question of like, oh, can I predict with like using one of my shields to stop one of their quakes? And like, I think if I realized how much danger that was, maybe I would have done that a little sooner. There were a couple things where like I used super commit into their shield and stuff like that reduced damage and stuff. But yeah, I think if I play that team again, I'm gonna have a different strategy and hopefully a strategy that's gonna do a little better. So all right, let's find another match. Oh, you got the 5-star, Kim? Sweet, congrats. I mean, the run's going so far. Going well so far, I should say. Okay. Castellite, Albrax, Voltox, and Garuda Mantis? Okay, this is a little disgusting. So Albrax trapping stuff in is actually not like the worst for my team. Just because I have shields on everybody and I have redirection. Obviously, they can provoke the shields, so like that's not a surefire way to stop it, but I at least have some counterplay to it. Garud could definitely be a little annoying to deal with. But again, this looks like an aggressive team again. I'm curious to see what type of Armantis it is. Whether it's the easy receive Armantis or... No, they have the monster block one. I like the red Voltoxin. The shiny Voltoxin is always nice. Rare morph, I should say. Soul Crusher Mark Hawkeye. Oh, so this is a Venom Touch one. And they do have a Mischief Garud, an Overworked Castellite with Tractor Beam. Okay, so good news is... Okay, I'm going to move up. This sounds insane. Okay, maybe that was a little insane. Okay, maybe I made a mistake. I was thinking, okay, Castellite's going to want to hit Cherylee, because Cherylee's the one that's trapped in. So I'm going to move up with a Posser and be, like, really cool. Oh, wait, their Castellite doesn't have shield. Okay, never mind. I'm a genius. And they don't have any redirection. This is the thing, folks. Have redirection on your team. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Yeah, because I just click this, right? Nothing... Oh, Voltoxin actually survives. So... But Soul Crusher actually isn't an issue. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so they survive. They take an absolute metric butt ton of damage. But they do survive. So Freeze Ray... So if I move back, Freeze Ray actually lets me survive. Well, not if they mark first. Ooh, this is actually tough. I'm gonna move back. I think I survive. Wait. Oh, interesting. Wait, what? They can't... Now they have to free... Wait. They got an easy... Oh, no, they dispelled and then provoked. Okay. So they went for Soul Crusher onto my Apostle, but they lost a lot of damage doing that. That's an interesting choice there. Okay. So basically, I don't want to give up my momentum here. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep boosting my Apostle here. And I think I just want to score a point. So the other option is I could do 80 damage to Albrax. But the problem is I can't shield Apostle, and then I have to switch it out, and then like the Soul Crusher could potentially be an issue later. Oh, they actually move out of the way. I'm okay with that. I think it's better. It would be better for them to let their Voltoxin wipe, because then at least it would come back with full stamina later. But now they can't. Now they just have to keep it. Wait, they have Overwork. Okay, so that doesn't matter. Wait, how much does Launch and Thump do? 44. Okay, so they should not be able to KO Charlie immediately, at least. Okay, so they didn't even do that at all. So that's fine. So they have Sneak Attack, Ricochet, Deep Breath. Okay, so we might be seeing a Deep Breath here. This might turn into a bit of a longer, drawn-out point here. So I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be slightly tempted to just click Shield here. And if they want to take the KO, they can just take it. I'm actually going to do that. Okay, so they do it. So I'm okay. Wait, what? Oh, they provoked Charlie. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure I agree with that. So, you know, in general, so, okay, they probably thought I was going to switch out, in which case, provoking Charlie is really good, right? Because then Charlie can't use boosting moves, can't use rally, etc., right? But this puts me in such a good position now, because I get a bonus turn, basically, of doing damage with a Posser. They might survive this, but they're still just going to take a crap ton of damage. Oh, they actually moved. Okay, they still got KO'd. So, all right. Okay, we got a nice clean win there. That team was really interesting, definitely, but they did some really high risk plays, is what I would say. Which definitely made it a little bit easier for me to just get a good position and just ride that to the end. All right. Understand the alternative. If you get greedy and hit into the Albrax, they would have had 2 beasts on the field with sub 20 HP. I mean, that is true. And there's definitely something to be said for that. Like, if they have a really... Actually, I don't remember the situation now that we're talking about. But, like, your point is valid that sometimes it is good to hit into the other slot instead of taking a guaranteed point. Because you actually want to have 2 beasties with really low stamina on the field. I guess I was a little worried that they would immediately be able to get a KO in response, and I wouldn't be able to capitalize on the fact that they had 2 low stamina beasties. But maybe that's not true. I guess if I was already up a point, then that's probably a valid, like, pretty good play if I'm ahead, because I can afford to give up a point and then put them into a really bad situation where they basically have to choose between moving up to block a front row move or switching out one of their low stamina beasties. So, like, yeah, there's definitely situations where that's like a good situation to put your opponent in, because basically either way is bad, right? They can move up and block the front row, but even if they survive, then they still have 2 low stamina beasties. And then obviously if they switch out and miss the front row move, then they get obliterated, and it's like a really hard guess that they have to make. So yeah, that's definitely a good situation to set up if you can. All right. Okay, so same team. Let's see if we see the same decisions from them or if we see something different. Also, it's really funny. This is the complete opposite of one of the other bashes I had. I think it was like 2 bashes ago where I served like 18 times and only received like 3 times or something absurd like that. Now it's the complete opposite. I swear I've received every game except 1, I think, which is just kind of incredible. All right, so Soul Crusher right off the bat. I think this is just a clear shield. I don't really see any reason to do anything else. So yeah, I'm just going to use shield. Okay. See the Soul Crusher into here. That's good. Okay, so I do have a choice to make. So I believe I want to click Rally. So there's a couple of reasons why I think that. Oh, so they have Mischief, so they could Whistle. So I do have to worry about that, actually. Maybe in that case, it's better to just try to get this Garud off the field as quickly as possible. They actually have a lot of defensive plays that they have to choose from. So the good news about Rally is it lowers their damage. I'm going to go for this. I'm curious to see how this plays out. Okay, so that was best case scenario is they don't block it and they didn't use a defensive move, they just switched out. So like the problem with that play is if they guessed correctly that I was gonna hit one of them, maybe like, oh, they thought I was gonna hit Garud, so they switched to Albrax, which has a lot higher spirit defense. Like on paper, that's great, but it only covers that one scenario. It's hard to be able to evaluate all the different like possibilities your opponent could do. And again, the way that I like to play anyways is I try to pick an option that even if I'm wrong, even if I guess wrong, I'm not out of the game. Like it's not the worst case scenario, right? I think I'm gonna hit into Albrax now. I actually don't know which is correct here. Albrax, trapping in a beastie is pretty annoying. So, I mean, that's why I chose what I did. But again, I don't know if that's correct or not. What do we think? It's almost certainly going to be Volley Provoke or Mark Volley. Those are the two that I would guess, which means Soul Crusher is almost certainly coming out. Which means, what do I want to do? Do I want to shield or do I want to move up? I'll probably just shield. I don't see a reason to do anything else. The thing is, with moving up, I just invite a lot more damage coming my way. Okay, so they actually didn't do that. They just, I think, double marked and then used freeze ray. But that's okay with me. What am I at? I'm at +1 plus rally, so that's doubled. Yeah, so there's no way in heck I'm gonna knock out this Albrax this turn. Oh, that's because of the block. That's why. But I think that's okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just keep going here. I just kind of want to do as much damage as I can here. So again, Soul Crusher really can't KO me here because it does percent base damage, and Freeze Ray also doesn't knock me out. So I'm actually safe. I think I can just click next turn because they have no way to boost their damage, and neither one of their attacks knocks out. Oh, I guess no, because they could not both mark and attack with Albrax. So that was the other opportunity, is they could have done a little bit of chip damage with Mark, but if they did that, then Albrax can't attack because Albrax is the one with the ball. So that was covered. I guess I didn't fully internalize that until too late. Okay, so Rally is done. But the thing is, I can't even use Rally, so that's actually not the question here. So it's definitely going to be double Volley. So here's the question. In this situation, what do? Do I target the low stamina beastie or do I target the high stamina beastie? So in this case, I think the correct play almost always is going to be this. And we'll see what happens, but I'll explain it after. Okay, so they actually, they kind of did. I don't know why they did that. They could have just blocked, because I don't think I was blocked already, unless I'm crazy. So basically, the reason why I think targeting the high stamina beastie there is correct is just because, again, I have all the momentum. Okay, they just forfeited. I have all the momentum, and basically regardless of what switching they did, because I don't think anything survived at the net there. So if they switch out Voltoxin, like nothing can survive, so that's not an option. They could switch out. Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it was just a really hard situation for them to get out of. They basically had to keep Voltoxin in because I had so much damage and they were already at the front that they couldn't switch in something else. So probably the best option was just to block me and hope for the best. But I don't think they were coming back from that. Yeah, necessarily the decision, the momentum. BC would want to, yeah. Yeah, so like, look, in BC ball, there's always slightly different situations, right? Like it's hard to come up with a single rule to like really cover every potential option and every matchup and everything. Every situation's a little bit different. So like I'm trying to explain my thought process and stuff, but like I'm not saying that first. I'm not saying my thought process is correct, first of all. But the other thing is like you end up having to use your own judgment in the situation to figure out what you think is the best play at the end of the day. Um, you know, I think for a lot of people, myself included, like the first step to improving for me personally was just even knowing what options there were and what options to look out for. Like, well, again, like the very first thing is like I never even considered that stacking beasties, in the same column, was ever an option. Because I'm thinking, oh, you're leaving an entire, lane open there. So why would you stack both beasties on the same lane if you leave a whole lane open? But sometimes it's a risk that you have to look out for because sometimes if you don't think it's coming and you make a decision, basically not even considering that they could stack up and then they do, sometimes that can literally lose you the game on the spot. Like it's a really powerful option, right? So it's just be able to know what to look out for and then to be able to quickly process it on the fly is, it's hard. It's a skill that, I'm not perfect at. And, I know a lot of players, try to work on. So anyways, so we're against the Happy Hearts, which is Kim, I believe. So that's cool to see. So we got Surveys, Charily, Hopra, Noizard, Plumask. So this is a rally team, almost certainly. You notice that 3 of the BCs are the same as my team. They have the Charily, they have the Hopra, and they have the Noizard. So they have Plumask instead of Heliath. So Plumask has some nice defensive options with the trait. And also has a mind attack that they can use in rally. So like it covers a few different situations. That Heliath is just kind of there for the raw damage. Plumask has some other nice options. But this, I'm going to be honest, Surveys is the scariest thing on their team. Yeah, okay, so it's a launch contest Surveys, which is kind of terrifying. So the good news is, well, actually, no, there's no good news. Never mind. Surveys has very high spirit defense also. So like, Raw Fury and Challenge are both going to be hard to do here. I'm going to do my classic. I'm just going to shield with Apostle if I think they're going to hit into it. So here's a question. So they do have a reach shot. So that is something I'm going to have to at least consider. How much does the contest? Ooh, contest does a lot of damage. So what do we think here? Okay, this is fascinating. That they have regular shield and not inspiring defense. But it kind of makes sense because, like, they don't really have that many other great options. Like, well, they'd rather have the 1 extra turn of Tough, probably, instead of boosting their ally, because, like, it doesn't really matter. Okay. I'm just going to do Raw Fury for 2 reasons. First of all, I don't want to boost them. But the other thing is I don't want them to shield. So, like, there's a couple different options. So, the thing is, neither of these support moves are scary to me. Both Rally and Dispel. So, Dispel is, if they didn't block and get an easy receive, then they could just Dispel. But the thing is, Rally benefits both of us. I mean, technically, maybe it benefits them more with Ego Blast and Stagecraft. But... Wait, what is... Okay, I'm just going to take it. If they decide to do Reach Shot, then I just lose. That's fine. I think it's a risk I have to take. Because this does a lot of damage. Yeah, it does 81 damage. So again, I just felt like that was a risk I had to take. And so the good news now is the Surveys cannot stay on the field. Unless they want to take a gigantic risk. So we're going to go and just volley Faith. So, Raw Fury is, obviously enough here. Challenge is the other option if I don't think they're going to shield. Unfortunately, it's not quite enough to get Charily off the field. So, obviously, there is another issue with this Hopra. So, this is a tough call. I think I want a Raw Fury. So... I think they're going to switch. Okay, they actually ended up switching to Plumask, which I think is fine. So the good is they have no way of boosting their own damage here. So basically the question is, do I want to try to cover reach shot or not? And I think this is actually kind of a tough choice here. I'm going to shield. So the reason I'm shielding here, okay, they still didn't go for reach shot, so that's fine. So the reason why I wanted to shield, look at the stamina on my side compared to theirs. Like, especially after this turn, I should say. Look at their stamina compared to mine after this turn. Yeah, it's not going to be super close. And so even if they scored a point, like, I'd taken less damage overall, so I have the feeling that I can win a longer game. So I'm kind of anticipating a switch here. I'm just gonna actually just hit Shirley. Oh, wow, they actually guessed it. So they go for the block. But the thing is, Shirley's still in 2-shot range. So I think that's fine. Oh, and they use Burnout. They actually have no threat here. Noise, so I can safely switch in Noizard. The reason I'm switching to Noizard is, obviously they can still KO my Apostle, which doesn't have shield, but they can also still reach shot. So I kind of want to cover those. But yeah, so I take less than 50 damage, which is really nice. Oh boy, what do I do here? This is a fascinating decision matrix. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do this. So this way, oh, that's fantastic. That's amazing. I feel like that's amazing for me. Wait, maybe that's not amazing. I was like, oh, that's so good. Because now I'm threatening a KO, but I'm actually not threatening a KO on this Charlie. Which is kind of what I was trying to do. I mean, sure, I could go for the KO and Plume Mask, but that's like the most obvious thing in the entire world. Man. Maybe I just Raw Fury the other slot? I don't know. I guess I'm gonna Raw Fury this slot. Oh, fascinating. So they went to Noizard to cover for the fact that Challenge could knock out their Plume Mask. But then I decided to Raw Fury that slot. Okay. Okay, so what are their threats here? So they do not have a front row move, and they have to double volley. So we're not seeing any support moves. It's just going to be Burnout or Ego Blast. That's it. That's the only thing we could see. So this might sound insane. I'm going to let them take the point. So I'm doing that for 2 reasons. First of all, my Noiser gets back to the back. I get a healthy Charlie, full stamina. What do I want to switch in more? I mean, it's almost certainly Heliath, right? Actually, what has more Spirit Defense? Okay, it is Heliath. Okay. So the thing is, I'm going to do this now. Because they don't have redirection anymore. Noizard is on the field. They cannot redirect. So, they have some tough decisions to make. So this is fascinating. Okay. I'm gonna do this. This could be game losing, but I'm gonna do it. Wait, do I even care? Okay, never mind. I think I'd just do this. Okay, so we do see the switch. Oh man. Yeah, this is tough. There was a lot of good options there, but I just wasn't sure what the best option was, So the good news is we're not going to see Excited Pass if they're going to attack. But Super Commit, okay, so this is effectively 40. It's going to be plus 20, so that's going to be 60. So that is too much for Cheerilee to survive. So unfortunately, that means we're going to have to swap out here. Man, this is going to get real tense real fast. Okay, so we have some nice options here. So I can go for Excited Pass Super Commit, but the thing is that's just weaker than using Heliath here. Oh man, this is such a tricky spot. Oh, wait. They can't move. Wait, is this game? I just realized I was afraid of Hopra stacking, but they can't move. All right, we got there. Oh man, what a game. Yeah, that was really close. So what did I think about that game? Like I never felt like the game was like totally getting away from me there. But I did feel kind of uncomfortable. Well, first of all, the start felt really scary because just the surveys, be able to do a lot of damage, right? But besides that, like it was the constant game of, okay, do I Raw Fury to get around shield, or do I just use my stronger attack? And it's like, okay, do I want to eventually just hit Cheerilee at some point? So the cool thing about that team is having Dispel and Rally basically means that their Plumask is always safe to swap in, which is really cool. So like there was never a case where I was like guaranteed to get a point on the front row. Good game, Kim. That was a really good game, actually. I was definitely getting pretty nervous. Where you were scared out of your mind too. Yeah, I mean, look, that was just a really tense game. Definitely a lot of high damage. And yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing about just these sort of matchups in general is trying to play around High Spirits Hopra is just really hard. Because Hopra does like good damage, by itself, just because Super Commit plus its, base stamina power. But as soon as you get to High Spirits, like you're in trouble. Like it can go south real fast. So I kept trying to think of like, how do we get around that and stuff? But yeah, that was a great rally ditto for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give Plumask a shot sometime. Again, I was mentioning this before. I don't know if you were listening then, but like having Dispel and Rally on Cheerilee, and then leading something else, but basically always having Rally up makes Plumask with Stagecraft like such a good option, because you could switch it into literally anything, just from the maximum 66 damage it can take. So yeah, it's great. And so the biggest other like benefit I feel like is sometimes you're just up against another team that has really high spirit defense or has majesty or whatever. So like having the option of Ego Blast is really nice. So yeah, I'll definitely have to try that sometime. All right. But yeah, did I miss any other chat? Let's see. Okay. Oh, Kim, you posted your results and definitely make it to the leaderboards. Yeah, I'm not going to check now, but I am not surprised. I'm not surprised at all that Kim did well. All right, let's find another match. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, talking all this time definitely makes my throat a little dry, but that's what water is for. It's okay. We can power through. Funnily enough, I think we're only like halfway through our games. It's already been like almost 2 hours. Maybe not quite. Yeah, it's been an hour and 55 minutes or whatever. So that's cool. Okay, so obviously, I'm chatting. I'm not playing nearly as fast as maybe I would otherwise. And, I'm spending some time in between games. talk with chat and all that. But I think I'm trying to remember if I was I think I was at 2 stars now, like 2.5 stars. So we're about halfway through. So in another 2 hours, I should be done. And well, hopefully I get done a little sooner than that because I would like to again show off some of the other cool teams. Damian showed off a really cool team that I want to try. It's such a funny team, like in a good way because it's a Castle team, right? But it's a whole bunch of body attackers and then Conjure, and all of the body attackers have some like swap out move that will transfer buffs to the next beastie, like smack or high five or whatever. And then the Conjure's just there using Confident Pass and Provoke, and I think it's like Confident Pass, Provoke, and Dispel, so that you can always provoke. You're always going to be boosted, and so it just looks like such a fun team to play. All right, so what are we up against? We're up against a Launcher Riplash with Rocket Flex and Cyclone. We have a Mischief Garude, Nettle, Deep Breath, Spitball. We do have Tractor Beam Albrax, but no Provoke on Albrax. Wait, do they have Provoke at all? Oh, they have Provoke on their Super Lero. Interesting. Okay. Fascinating. So I'm almost certainly gonna get... I think I'm gonna get Cycloned here, so I'm gonna actually just hit the other slot. I was dead wrong. Wow, okay. They definitely kind of read me. Well, the good news is there's no quick tag now. Wait, do they even have any front row moves? No, they have no front row moves. Okay, so we never have to move up if we don't want to. So that's nice. So they can flex and then rocket, or they can like move up rocket, but like I could just shield because they have launcher. Like they can't get around my shield without provoke. So we get to shield, we get to take very little damage, which is fantastic. So I'm kind of anticipating the Cyclone now. So I'm not going to be a +1. I'm going to do like, so challenge would do like 40 damage or something. Trying to think. I might still just hit the Riplash though. So yeah, this will do like a little more than 50 damage to Riplash. But the thing is, if I got Cycloned, like, it's not a big deal. Oh, they just use block. Oh. Well, I feel kind of dumb now. Oh, no. Okay, well, they can... Oh, I can't switch out either. Oh my goodness. Okay, I survived with 1 HP though, so that's cool. I did not mean to get that math exactly correct. But the thing is, they can also quick tag Nettle, so I have to attempt to switch out. Okay, so they did quick tag Nettle. Oh, but they nettled the other person. Okay, that's fine. Oh crap, that was enough. Oh, I didn't look at the preview. That's on me. That's totally on me. Okay. All right, we gotta lock in. So we know where this attack is going. So I gotta take advantage of Heliath while I have a wiped beastie here. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. Wow. So we could set up a rally. Or we can boost. I think I am going to set up rally here, actually. Okay, so that's great. So we got a point, so we're back in it. So the question now is, who do we go for? And how do we make this work? So I am worried about Provoke, which is on Super Lero. Oh, dang. Is that just, like, guaranteed? Oh, Tool does not do enough damage, though. Okay, I do think I want to hit this Albrax, though. Yeah, I think I want to hit this Albrax. So we always have the option of switching out here. Yeah, unfortunately they can nettle here, though. Yeah, this is tough. So, yeah, we're gonna have a couple rough turns here. I don't think there's much I could do here. So they can, the thing is they can nettle and then my Heliath can't shield. So I have to switch out to Noizard, let my Heliath get wiped. And then next turn. Okay, so the good news is Noizard took basically no damage and they don't have a front row move. So we're actually looking okay here. Not great, but we're looking okay. So I don't, ooh, do I care about Meditate? I think Apostle is coming in here, so I don't think I really care about Meditate that much. So I'd rather target the Garud here. And I don't want to move up. So we're just going to free ball into Garud here. Okay, so we see the Nettle. So a double Nettle doing 40 damage then plus the tool would have been really scary, and I didn't want that to happen. So that's why I went ahead and did this. So now they have to volley if they want to use Nettle. So I'm going to go ahead. This is kind of tough, but I'm going to switch out to a Apostle here. I think that's my best option. Okay, they use Tool. So the good news is this is basically a 50-50 for them because, oh, wait, why is Challenge doing so little? Oh, wait, no. Raw Fury is what I want. That's such little damage, though. Oh, this is tough. I think I have to rally here. Oh, wait, this might be game. Oh, this is such a weird situation. Okay, this is insane, but I'm going to do this. So here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about double Nettle. Okay, so... All right, so... Yeah, but... Oof. Yeah, I think that's game. I don't think there's any way around that. Yeah, that was a really nice move by them. Yeah, I think that's game. Okay, I'm gonna hope they mess up. I don't know how they could possibly mess up here, but wait, we did it. Okay, all right, we bought one more turn. Okay, so how can we capitalize on this turn? I'm not sure there's much we can. Man. Yeah, I still think that's game. I don't think there's anything I can do here. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, they got it. All right. GG. Yeah, that should be game. Man, that was really cool. That was a really cool setup by them. All right, well, we got our first loss, but that is okay. Oh, we're actually at 3 stars. Okay, so we're further along than I thought. So, okay, what did I think about that game? I'm trying to think how I could have adjusted for that. Let's see. So, okay, so basically, I think the reason I ended up losing is just because the Albrax set up there. Well, oh, actually, what am I talking about? So the mistake actually came a lot earlier. The mistake was I switched in Hopra and got one hit wiped by the Riplash. That was the problem. Is I gave up that point for free basically. So I needed to switch into something else. I needed to do something else. I'm trying to remember like exactly what the situation was, but I think that was really the reason why I couldn't come back at the end, is I just gave up that point. So I just need to be a little careful next time and make sure to read the damage previews. You would think I'd be able to do that by now, but I guess not quite. But that's okay. That's okay. It was the first loss, so yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, Beast Ball is such a fun game. Honestly, like even losing this game, I don't feel bad about losing at all. Like obviously I want to learn, like try to get better. But like even losing, I'm like totally fine with. There's just so many cool and interesting things in this game. And I swear, like I almost every game I play, I feel like I could have done better, right? Or like there's always like little team changes I could have made or whatever. And again, it's just fun. It's just a fun game to play, so. And thank you, Kim. Thank you, thank you, Kim and Lady, for the support. I appreciate it. But no, we're still in a relatively good spot. So. I think so. No undefeated run this time, but I don't know if anybody's ever gone undefeated in the bash. My best was I had one loss. One of the like earlier bashes before they changed the scoring system. I think I went like 13-1 or something to get 5 stars. But like most of my other runs, you know, I get between like 2 and 5 losses or something like that. So as long as we get somewhere in that range, I'm gonna be happy. I mean, honestly, even if I lose 10 plus times, I'm not gonna be that upset. Because again, it's fun. And also I'm streaming, right? Like I acknowledge that, you know, if I'm streaming, things will happen, right? Okay. Let's see. So they have a Spitball, Juggle, Smack, Muscle Bound with Beetleback that has Confident Pass, Clearfield, Mighty Yell. This is going to be a little tough. And Challenge is definitely potentially an issue here. Yeah. How much does Challenge do? 50? How much damage are they doing back? Oh, actually not that much. Okay, but because they have Confident Yell, this might be a mistake, but I'm actually going to challenge into Beetleback here, because Beetleback isn't going to get the boost. Like, it doesn't have any attacks. Technically, they could get a better, like, action economy because they can use Clearfield, but, like, I don't feel like that's much, you know, a huge deal. And the thing is, they have Mighty Yell anyways, so I would always have to worry about redirection regardless. Okay, so Spike, oh, that's enough to KO Charlie, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Wait, that's a lot of damage. I guess I just take the KO here. Wow, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. Oh wait, I survived. Rounding. Hooray for rounding. All right. Oh, no. What it was. Okay. I thought that was its base damage at the net, but that was with the +1 boost already considered. I was like, oh, they're going to get the Confident Pass and they're going to get the Spiker multiplier. Wait, actually, did they change it? Does the Spiker multiplier get in the preview now? I actually don't remember now. Well, whatever. I'm doing this now. Ooh, what do I do? I think I have to do this. So I don't want to get shielded, right? So I'm just going to take the guaranteed point and I'm just going to move on with my life. Okay, what are we looking at? So I cannot KO anything that switches in. I could hit the Surveys, but it has Inspiring Defense anyways. You know what? Actually, I think I am going to... What do we see? Launch, Demolish, Shields, potential. I think... Okay, what does this launch look like? Do I get exploded by launch? I don't think so. I'm actually just going to challenge the surveys. Okay, so they actually do switch Beetle back in, but that's okay. So here's the thing. Nothing can survive Spike in the back, but I don't care. They can KO Charlie. Again, we got the lead, so I can just click shield here. And then, again, if Charlie gets KO'd, I don't care. I'll just switch in somebody else. Okay, Charlie is down, but again, that's totally okay. So I guess here's the question, though. Do I want to have a front row move threat, or do I care? I don't think I care very much. So I could use Hopra. How much does Hopra do versus... Okay, I'm going to switch to Heliath. 2 reasons. Heliath obviously has the trait boost right now, which makes it really good. Other reason is I don't really want to get locked in with super commit. That's one way for me to lose. So because of that, I think I'm just going to go with this. Okay. So I think I move up volley, and now I think. All right, so come back, KOs almost everything. It does not KO the muscle bound. Raw Fury is an option, but instead of shielding, they could just move back. And obviously, I really don't want them to just shield and win, so I think this is the correct play. Okay, so they did predict that, and they did switch in correctly. But again, the good news is they don't have any boosts on anybody. This spike is really scary, but I can just shield, and they have no way to stop shield. So I think this is actually okay. So I think I just click shield, and I'm chilling. Okay, so it looks like they're going to attack with surveys. But that's good, because it means Musclebound isn't going to get any boosts for the next turn. Okay, so we do see the spike on the Heliath. That would have KO'd. So here's the question now. So comeback is still the strongest move. I still cannot KO with Raw Fury here. And they can bring in Charlie. That's the only scary part here. What does Charlie have? It does have constant confidence past cheer. Ooh, that's rough. Okay, I know what I have to do. Yep, I have to do this. So, yes, Surveys did block it with the shield, but if I'm correct, Noizard should survive. Okay, yep, so now we can switch into Noizard. I should survive this, theoretically. So let's see if my calculations were correct. And if Noizard does survive here, I guess I'm technically not out of the woods yet. All right, so Noizard does come in. The question is, who do I target? And who do I go for here? Wait a minute. No, that doesn't work. Okay, so I think we're gonna do this. I think we're gonna do this. That might be wrong. Okay. Oh man, that was a close one. Holy crap. I really I got the title Scoundrels. How nice. Boy, that was actually really close to the end. So that is an example of a game though that I felt like I guessed wrong like 4 times. Like there were 4 50-50s in that game that I got all of them wrong and I was still able to win. Because I eventually won one of the 50-50s at the end there. Yeah, and it like I'm trying to think if I could have played it better. I feel like I played it reasonably well. I was trying to see if Noizard could actually just use a slice at the back row there to potentially win, but technically Musclebound could move backwards and take the slice, so that wouldn't have worked. But maybe that still would have been a good option. I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard with all those moving pieces, but yeah, I guess we managed to find a way. I feel like the reason why I was able to like guess wrong so many times and still win is we had a really good first point. Where like the only thing that happened was Charlie got knocked out, but I was able to do so much damage to the rest of their team, including scoring my own points. So like it put me in a pretty good position later on. I do feel like I could have been a little bit like more efficient with my damage there, like in the mid game. Maybe I was being a little too conservative. Like maybe I just needed to Raw Fury that Surveys a little more aggressively, but I don't know. I was trying to, you know, hedge for a lot of different things, so. All right. Yeah, I guess we're moving on. Ah. Yeah. I would guess it's another 5 or 6 games probably until we get to 5 stars. So we're well on our way. We're getting there. I feel like every time I play at a bash, like all the other players get better and better every time, and I have to try harder and harder to get wins. It's just, you know, there's basically no freebies. I remember, I think it was 2 bashes ago where like I saw somebody I didn't recognize and it was early on, and like, you know, I wasn't like, clearly I wasn't locked in, and I was just like, I don't know who this person is. It should be okay. And like I wasn't thinking that hard, and I lost because I you know, didn't respect my opponent. So it's one of those things where you can never sleep on anybody, for sure. And again, there's so many like cool teams out there. Like obviously the game is early access, it's changing all the time, right? So there's definitely strategies that haven't been explored a whole lot. So like it's always possible to get surprised by a team you haven't seen before and kind of be unprepared. So and that's where the skill of being able to like think on the fly and like figure out what on the enemy team is like the big threat and how you can mitigate that threat and, you know, maximize your own threats. Oh, we got booted. I don't know why we got booted, but we're just gonna queue up again. All right. Yeah, because we're almost at 4 stars, so it should be another like 2 games to make it to 4 stars probably, and then like 4 more. So yeah, probably 6 games. The Goofy. Oh crap! It's a rematch. All right. Well, this was a really close match, so I'm honestly excited to have a rematch here. Oh, let's see if we can do any better. Okay, so you know, they did start with Smack last time, and that Surveys was pretty scary last time. I'm trying to think if it's worth doing a Raw Fury. The problem is only doing 32 damage is not great. You know what? That's okay. I'm gonna just still hit the Beetleback. Oh, they actually changed it up. Okay. So we're still hitting the Beetleback. Man, 62 damage. 62 damage per serve is really good. All right. So they do have launch, but they're not going to use launch. They're going to use demolish. And it's going to be double this. Oh crap, it's gonna be double. No, it's not gonna be double this preview because they already have a boost. I made this mistake last time. So as long as it shows less than 60, we should be good, which it does. So again, this is a case where everything on the bench dies, but everything we have out front will live. We're gonna basically, hopefully maximize the amount of stamina we save here by clicking shield, and thankfully it paid off. Okay, so they do have their own shield. But you see how much damage we're doing in the preview. We are going to absolutely explode them if they stay in. And not to mention, we can also hit the back row. So, I mean, there's not too much to think about. We're definitely clicking Faith here. So I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not clicking challenge into Castle Elite. That's a great way for me to lose. Because then they just click shield and then they're able to attack right back. The question is, do I try to shield? Do I try to challenge their backline? Or do I just Raw Fury their attacker? I feel like their correct move is just to Raw Fury their front. Because it should be more total damage. Okay, so we got the wipe, which is fantastic. That's what we want to see. So this doesn't quite do enough damage to knock out their captain. What do they have? They do have reach shot. That is kind of annoying. Well, they can't smack right now. Let's go ahead and just challenge the other slot. I feel like it's going to be a supporter. I feel it's either going to be, yeah, there's going to be one of those two options. Either Beetleback or Cherry there. I'm actually kind of surprised they haven't brought Cherry in at all, I don't think. Or, that's not true. They did bring in Cherry last time and it got exploded. But I'm surprised they brought back a low stamina beastie. So the thing is, like, I don't need to switch here. Like, there's nothing threatening here. Because this is the great thing about having both of my leads that have high body defense. Is, like, against some of these situations where the opponent leads to strong body attackers. Like, body attackers can often be a hard matchup for Rally. Just because naturally there's a lot of body weak beasties that you want to use. So that way, hopefully, you know, my two strong body defense leads can get things done. So, all right, we're going to Volley Faith. That is a guaranteed. So here's the question. Oh, wait, they have Smack. They don't have Shield. Okay. Maybe I do this then. Yeah, I think I do this. Okay, so I'm actually going to challenge it a muscle bound. Okay, they did guess it correctly. But the thing is, now they have two low beasties. Even if they score right now, like let's say they get a point right now, they're just going to be in a really awkward spot. So I can't shield. They're at +3 already. Okay, no wonder. Okay, so Apostl's gonna die. If they attack Apostle's just dead. Sorry, see ya. Something I can do about that, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh, and they have the free ball. They have the free ball served to me. Oh my goodness, that's like the best thing ever. Okay, so we're switching in Heliath just because, you know, that's the way to go. So, I have Reach Shot. Reach Shot is an option. But is that the best option? That's the question. Let's see. What do I actually want to do here? I feel like I do this. Okay, so we just get the guess correct. That's fine. But yeah, we got off to such a strong lead there. It was really hard for them to come back. So, all right, we made it to 4 stars for the bash. So we're just gonna keep on trucking. Let's keep on going. Keep the momentum. Oh, I keep forgetting to switch to the other overlay when I'm on the other side. Okay, same matchup. Again, we're not gonna get overconfident. We're gonna just try to maximize, you know, make the best choices we can. Okay, so last time I believe I Raw Furied into that slot. I still think that is a reasonable opening just because I don't want that spike to be able to KO stuff. So I'm still going to Raw Fury into the slot. Okay, so they are going back to Surveys, which I think them using Smack into Surveys is the better choice. So I believe I should still survive here, no matter what happens. So we're going to go ahead and use Shield. We're going to see. So I've used Shield every time, so it makes sense that they're going to go into Charily, right? The good news is, though, if they go into Charily, this makes it so I can both Faith and Rally. So I basically get 2 damage boosts instead of just 1. And now Raw Fury is a guaranteed KO. Yep. Okay. So we pick up the knockout, which is great. They did do 99 damage to Charily, though. So, like, it's not like they made no progress. They still did really well, right? So here's a question. Okay, so Muscle Bound is not a super big threat, so I can go ahead and challenge into it, and I don't have to worry. Castle literally gets 1 shot, so they can't switch in Castle. Okay, so they do switch in Muscle Bound, takes 70, and I get the boost. So again, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time, I think. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk anything else, I don't think. Could I switch in Noizard? Maybe, but I don't think I will. I'm just gonna click Shield. If and again, they can get the KO into Charily if they want. They choose not to. And now I think I'm just in a really good spot. So how much is... Oh, they do not have Shield, right? Okay, so I can challenge and challenge. 1-hit KOs, everything. Okay, so I think we did it again. Was able to get another score. And I keep forgetting to switch my thing. Okay, that's really funny. Oh! I got cocky. I forgot about their redirection there. How many of that? There are +2 and the net. So they're doubled plus 50%. I can't math. I don't think this is enough. I think I just stand. Let me just fix the overlay here real quick. Okay, that should be good. All right. Okay, so finally they took the KO into Charily. So, okay, how much does Noizard do? Wait, is this guaranteed? I think so. 30? It says I do 30. So I believe this is guaranteed. So I think this gets them into a no-win situation because they cannot switch in and have redirection, and Slice KOs both of them. So I think this is guaranteed. I almost got too cocky there and threw my lead. I definitely don't want to do that. But I think this will do it. So let's see what happens. All right, got the victory. Okay, we're at halfway. We're at 4.5 stars. So I believe 2 more games. 2 more games should be enough. Okay, I got to remind myself for the overlay, switch to whatever side that I'm actually playing on. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, because I'd love to just get done with this. I'd love to just finish playing my matches so I can start playing some other teams. Because after you get to 5 stars, then your bash score gets locked. So it can't go up and down after you get 5 stars. So then I feel the freedom to be able to play what other team I want. So that'll be fun. All right. Obviously we played that person 3 times, I think. So I hope I find somebody different this time. We'll just have to see what happens. Hopefully the bash has been fun for everybody else. I've definitely been enjoying it. It's nice to have a themed bash after a while, because I think we had at least 1 open one, if not 2 opens recently. And so for the theme bashes, you have a team building restriction, right? So you have to include one of the themed beasties on your team. And so that's always nice to be able to like have a little team building challenge to do to kind of swap things around. You know, see what's happening. So I don't know. It's definitely fun. Oh, here we go. All right, so we got somebody different, which is great. They're serving to us, which is good. Tort Anchor, Trad, Bandicraft, Surveys, Daredillo. This is a really interesting team. So I'm guessing this is captains, considering they have okay, so one captain, two captains. Okay, so they have two captains. Boom, Patience, Mighty Yell. What a lineup. And they have Grinder, Clearfield, Quick Tag, Spike, Burnout, Zigzag. Okay, good news, no front row moves. Let's go. Okay, so they actually went for Charlie. It's a little surprising to me because this way I get Faith and Rally. Maybe they're gonna be switching into Daredillo. Maybe that's why they're not worried about it. Oh, they can use support plays on defense. Okay, crazy, but I think this is actually okay. Let's see what happens. I'm really curious what they choose to do here. Because again, I don't know this player, so this is a little bit of a risky play. Oh, they got it. Okay. All right, so they did actually get the block the the front row move there. So I was thinking, oh, well, if they don't switch out, they don't really have a big damage threat. And yes, they can quick tag, but this way it's actually even better for me because they cannot quick tag and attack with what they quick tag into, if that makes sense. So we're not going to see Grinder here. I'm actually going to move forward here. This might be a little bit too ham. Maybe this is not a good play. But yeah, we're going to do Faith. We're going to do Rally. My boss is already at 50, so not the best. Okay, good news is challenge KOs everything, so they must block or use Patience or use Mighty Yell. I mean, I guess any of those things are fine. Mighty Yell is actually probably the scariest. Okay, they didn't do that. It still did 96. Oh man, that's fantastic. Okay. So I'm going to block Tort Anchor. Maybe that's not a good play, actually. Maybe that doesn't matter. The problem is, like, if they boom into Charlie, I'm going to need to volley anyways, so it doesn't really help me that much. Oh, they didn't. They boomed into a Posser. That's fantastic. Okay, because this way I don't have to take the Quake damage. That's, like, the big scary part. Okay, what do they have? They do have Inspiring Defense, and Raw Fury is not enough. So, what do I do here? They can always Patience. That's really the problem. What does this Spike look like? Spike is not that scary. I feel like I just Raw Fury. Like, I'm not going to boost their damage, but this way I get around shield. Yeah, it still isn't 94. You know, we're doing okay. So, okay, Spike obviously KOs my Apostle, but it does not KO my Charlie. The thing is, they have no way to boost damage. So, I think do I shield? I'm not sure here. I feel like I shield. I feel like that's the play. Okay. So they do go for a Posser, but I do shield, so that's not a problem. So this is really just a slugfest. We're gonna keep attacking each other until somebody gets KO'd. It's as simple as that. So here, I assume we're gonna see Mighty Yell. I mean, I don't know that we're gonna see Mighty Yell, but I assume we're gonna see Mighty Yell. Because nothing else saves them here, right? I do think whoever scores the first point is in an advantage. Okay, there we go. Managed to score the first point. So the question is, so Daredillo can tag in and survive, and then burnout. That burnout's gonna hurt. So that's base burnout? Oh my goodness. So what happens if I double that? That's a problem. Oh, actually... I think that's okay, actually. Wait, I think we're okay to... You know what? But I don't need to. I was thinking, oh, it's okay if I challenge into Daredillo. I'm doing like a bunch of math. But it doesn't matter. Doing 66 damage is more than enough. So the question is, does Burnout KO? And the answer is 100% yes. But that doesn't matter. So I can afford to switch in Noizard here. Because Quake does not KO my Imposter. And also, I don't need anything else to win here. Because Raw Fury is just enough, always. They cannot redirect Raw Fury, they can't shield Raw Fury, they can't do anything. In fact, I can just provoke anyways. But yeah, we're just gonna Raw Fury here, there's nothing they can do. Or, oh crap, I didn't do the math. So they were only at 34 stamina, but if they moved back, it's possible that with Acrobat, because I wasn't thinking about the Acrobat defense boost. They might have actually survived that. I think I needed to provoke Tort Anchor and then use Challenge into Daredillo. See, like, I even in that game, like at the very end, I made a non-optimal play. I don't know if it mattered, but... yeah, Kim, you love me saying maybe this is not a good play and then me doing it anyways, right? Well, you know, okay, so this is something about playing a game where you have limited time to make decisions. So oftentimes you have an initial instinct, right? Like the first thing you think of is, oh, I want to do this play, right? Maybe it's the highest damage play. Maybe it's something that shuts them down, whatever, right? But you start with what your gut tells you. That's a good starting point for any play, right? For any turn. From there, then you say, oh, well, you know, this play that I have the instinct of doing, is there anything that they can do that makes this play not good? And then you look at that for a little while. And then, you know, you look at, oh, are there other options? You know, are there options that, you know, have better payoff or not as bad of a downside? And so, like, there's a lot to think about, right? But at the end of the day, like, if you start running out of time, you just have to make a decision. And so sometimes I might think, oh, I'm going to make this play. And then I start thinking of other plays and stuff they can do and say, oh, wait, maybe this play isn't good. But then I see the timer, like, ticking down. And I'm like, okay, maybe this play isn't good, but I just got to go with it. So I don't know if that's exactly what happened that time. But that's definitely an experience I have had for sure. So, you know, at some point you got to go with your gut, and if your gut ended up being the wrong decision, it's good to, you know, after the game or whatever, you know, reflect and say, okay, this was a bad decision. I like either, oh, I knew this might have been a bad decision, but I didn't calculate fast enough, or wait, I thought this was a really good decision, but it turns out it was a bad decision. Like, I need to rethink my game plan, or like get better about evaluating this specific situation. So like, yeah, it's just not, yeah, it's both the timer and the fact that there's no undos. So like, ideally you do not click a single button until you know exactly your whole turn. So even though you have 3 actions or more than 3 actions, like, you should plan out the whole turn ahead of time, because you can't undo. So like, that's where, oh, my BC's in the back, but I want to calculate damage when it has a +1 boost and it's in the front. Like, you can't just, you know, you can't just like double volley and get to the front and then look at the damage calcs, because there's no undos. So if that's not enough to KO something, you could just be screwed. So, you know. All right, find another match. Okay, I'm sure it will not be more than like 2 more matches. So yeah, let's see what happens. Oh man. Definitely starting to feel it after playing for 3 hours. But that's okay. Or almost 3 hours. It's been 2 hours and 40 minutes or so. But But that's all right. I definitely feel like I have at least 2 more good games in me, and then I can start messing around with other teams. That'll be the fun part. Is just trying other stuff. I won't have like a ton of time, but I should be able to like show off at least a couple more teams. Again, there's a team by Damian that I thought looked really cool, but then there's also the Dino team. I really got to try that Dino team. Thank you, Dino, to sharing that team code. Because yeah, it's always fun to try Dino teams, and they're often nasty in the best possible way. I love trying Dino teams. I'm still not very good with like stall teams in general, especially not now that they're not so OP that it's just like, oh, you run Gremler and Skull Copy, and then you just, click doze every turn. Unfortunately, stall is not quite that simple anymore. So it takes a lot more thought. All right, Dazzling Lovers. I believe we played against this team before. Actually, maybe not. Maybe this is a different team. I definitely remember the Goofster, Maraptor. Yeah, I think I played this team. So this was a mine-based team. They do have redirection with Maraptor, and the Goofster, if I remember, was like Perfect Shot Slice. Oh, that's Cassifin? Awesome. Yeah, it's good to see them playing in the Bash. But yeah, it was an interesting team. I think I believe it was a Monster Block Armantis, which was kind of cool. Yeah, Monster Block with Sneak Attack Ricochet. Again, the good news about this Armantis is it doesn't do a ton of damage relative to other stuff. So, all right, so we're gonna see Sneak Attack. Question is where we're gonna see it. I still think I just shield. Again, it's pretty low downside to click shield for a counter serve, just because you just take less damage. So unless you expect to get exploded on turn 2, like it's not so bad. Oh, and yeah, here's the other thing. So I have a couple options here. Obviously, the natural play would be to volley and faith and then attack, which I would do good damage. I'd probably do 62 damage because I'd have 1 boost and then they block. But because they are mind attackers, I do actually kind of like this play. I don't know. Let's see what happens. So the thing is with Monster Block, I'm going to be switching out Apostle anyways. It's not going to be sticking around. So, and they cannot attack because they're shook from my reach shot. So basically, if they want to do any damage, they're going to have to move to the front. In which case, they're not clicking a Lay Trap. So, I mean, in this case, we just switched to Habra. I forgot. They actually have, I totally forgot they have Quickset. That is a really nice addition, actually. But that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and Faith, and we're going to go ahead and Rally. So here's the thing. So I can super commit, and they could use block. So I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to click super commit. I'm not going to be able to switch out Hopper after this, but that's okay. I do have a plan. So actually, the question is... That's the thing, is like they do so little damage that it doesn't matter too much. See, this is why having Rally, like setting up Rally, even though I did so little damage the first turn, I did 1 damage. The fact that I reduce their damage and boost my damage for the next like 3 turns, it's just really strong. And so just to, guarantee I can attack next turn, I'm just gonna, switch out to something that can attack. Wow, we see double Lay Trap. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is definitely a real threat. Do I survive? I should still survive because they did not get boosted. I'm going to take a crap ton of damage from traps, but I will still survive. Okay, so they actually go for Hopra? Interesting. I wonder if they're trying to get both beasties really low. I wonder what the play here is. So, I mean, Hopper obviously does a lot more damage here. Oh, Hopper can't attack. I almost messed up. Hopper cannot attack here. Oh, that's really funny. Okay, so this is... Oh, I might as well still use Excited Pass, though. I think this is still the play. I think getting a point here is still good. I should have gone for the Bandicraft, I guess, in retrospect. But that's not a huge deal. Oh, man. So the scary thing about Bandicraft is it has Zigzag. And is there... There's Tactical Pass. It doesn't have... It does not have Dig. I think I still super commit the other slot, though. Okay. Alright, so I have some decisions to make here. So obviously we see the slice. They cannot perfect shot, which is nice. But they can slice, and they can do a really weak zigzag. Actually, wait, am I guaranteed to survive here? So this is gonna be doubled. So this 48, I do survive that. And slice. Ooh, I don't survive slice though, I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna take a bit of a risk. I think I did my math wrong. Yeah, I did. But good news is they have to just regular slice here. Ooh, who do I switch in? This is tough. I think it has to be Charlie, right? How much does super commit do? Can I start one-shotting stuff? Boy, this is actually really tough here. I think I switch in Charlie. So I survive here. I'm now in high spirits range. So I can Excited Pass and Faith. And so any preview that says it does 60 damage or more should be a KO. So actually, I think this just KOs everything, right? Sure looks like it. Do they have any... So Maraptor can switch in a redirect, but Maraptor also gets one-hit KO'd. So yeah, I think that's game. Oh no, I did the previews wrong. Okay, so that's not game. But the good news is we can switch in Noizard. Oh, this is tough though. This is really hard. Did I make the right decision there? I don't know. I mean, look, going for a win always at least has some merit, but I'm trying to think if there was another play that I could have done. The problem with using something like Reach Shot is, so Reach Shot is only okay because Bandicraft was at full stamina, right? Okay, so we see the perfect shot. Man, this is tough. Wait, is Slice enough? No, it's not. Okay, so the next question is super commit enough with Rally? And it looks like the answer is yes. So I believe Volley plus Rally. Check, do they have any shields or other ways to survive? It looks like the answer is no. So I think this is game. I thought it was game last time, but I guess wrong last time. Okay. All right, so we got the win. That was a little tense. That was definitely a little tense, but we did get the win at the end of the day. The traps definitely did some work there. Okay, I'm actually going to exit just to see. Oh, we did it. All right. We got the 5 stars. Let's go, chat. And we did, in fact, hit 3,000. Fantastic. So with the new scoring system for the bashes, and just like with the way the bash scores have been the last couple times, 3,000 is like the best score I could have asked for. Like anything past 3K is phenomenal. So thank you. But the best part of getting this to 5 stars is we get to play other teams now. So I'm gonna jump right into this. So Damian team. I had a whole other layer of like showing off the teams. I don't need to do that. But I do want to go ahead. Excuse me a moment. I'm just going to go ahead and update my overlay here just to properly give credit to the person that built this team. which was the great Damian, one of the game designers for Beastie Ball, actually. I just put the team code on screen, and let me go ahead and just copy the link here. Okay, let me go ahead and just unpin this message. I'm gonna go ahead and paste this. I'm gonna pin this in chat in case anybody wants to see it. All right, beautiful. So this is Bonko time, as Damian calls it. So I saw this team. I just thought it looked really funny, but also like fascinatingly good. So I really wanted to try it. So looking at this team, obviously it's 4 body attackers plus Conjar. This was definitely a really cool use of Conjar, because, you know, one of the downsides of Conjar is it does not have the mythical Dispel cheer. Like, you know, you think of Cheerilee is good at supporting basically anything with Dispel and cheer, because it means even if the other beastie got hit, you can use Dispel to make sure it can still attack, and cheer is an Omni boost. It boosts all the powers. So that way you could have like Cheerilee on any team with any different type, you know, attacking types. But the problem is like Conjar had Dispel and then, you know, has Faint, but that's a debuff, so they can like switch out to reset it. And the thing is with volleys are only for one type, right? So like Confident Pass only works for body. But it's an interesting team layout because all of these attackers, I shouldn't say all of them, but it's really easy for this team to get boosts just from the other moves on the attackers. So this way, Conjur's there not necessarily to just boost damage, but is there to always have Provoke up. So like there's basically no way to stop Provoke unless you provoke Conjure first. So we have Castley obviously in the front with Launch Thump is a pretty standard move set. You know, we have Super Lero with the Confident trait, which is cool, getting buffs when it goes in, and it has Flex. Have Launcher Riplash, super dangerous. And we have the wonderful Lunaptra. Always love to see Lunaptra on teams. Muscle Memory Spike, again, pretty standard. Torch Baz, pretty standard. But the biggest thing is, like, there's Smack, which allows you to switch out and give a boost on Castley, but we also see Smack on Riplash. And then we also see High Five on Confident Supalero, which is fantastic because it gets boost for free and it has Flex. So it's like you can both refresh the stamina on your beasties, but also be able to, you know, keep the boosts rolling, right? So it's just really cool. I really like this team. So we're just gonna try it out. We're gonna see how this goes. All right. Man, I am excited to try this out and see how this goes. No expectations to how it's gonna perform, but I'm gonna do my best. So, you know, I just said out loud how I thought the team looked. Actually, I didn't even talk about playstyle. So I assume the lead most of the time is just going to be Castley with Conjar. Conjar is kind of the one support on this team. So definitely want to lead Conjar. And then basically I want to smack into whatever option is best on the bench. So also with some of the defensive spreads that I saw that Damian chose to make, you know, they're very like spiky. They're like not the weakest defenses is covered. So that makes it really nice. So you can switch into whatever has the highest defense against what you're facing. Oh, the online ne'er-do-wells. That's an appropriate name for the team they're running. They have the infamous Frufolks Fetch'em counter serve, but they are the ones serving, so I guess we don't have to deal with that. So they are using Echo Strike. Echo Strike Majesty with Defiant. Look at that. You love to see that synergy there. Beautiful. Okay. So they're gonna have both Mind and Spirit. What has good both mind and spirit defense? I guess that's going to be Whiplash. That seems reasonable. Okay, effect ignored. Let's go. That's where Cryptic's really good. So, thankfully we don't have to worry about the Echo Strike and the combo that they just did. So, so obviously I have only a straightforward attack. So the good news is they do not have shield. So I don't think I need to trait dance. I don't need to steal Defiant as much as would be really fun. Okay, I think I just... You know what? I think I'm going to move up and then Confident Pass and then Thump. I think this is the best option. So they have some front row moves, which makes things a little iffy. But this way also I just do as much damage as I can. Yeah, there we go. So we actually managed to get a pretty quick KO, which is great. Yeah, Whiplash was just a, you know, a really nice option to have early on here. So yeah, we get to see kind of what happens now. So it is Protector Fruit Folks, but yeah, they... So, you know, they do have Cut Shot here. They also have Rally. So they have to choose... They have to choose between whether they want to Rally or if they want to Cut Shot. I don't think they can do both. So I think... Okay, so I think I'm actually gonna smack into an ally here. Okay, so they double rallied Freeball. That's fascinating. Okay, interesting. Boy, what do I think about that? Okay, so I have a few options here. That is fascinating. I will probably... Do I even need to double provoke? I don't think I need to, though. I think I'd rather volley Confident Pass and then just thump. I don't know. I mean, that sounds good. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to hit the Circus. Okay, it didn't matter. They were going to switch into redirection. So the good news is they do not have a sideways move here. So I'm actually pretty comfortable just sitting in the back. So the question is, can they get a KO? And I mean, the answer is probably... Okay, so they're already doubled. They're already doubled. So is that going to be enough? It probably is. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to high five. They can... Yeah, so they'll get the KO. Yep, there we go. But so I kind of decided on that just because that was the weakest beastie anyways. And now I can switch into my Ludaptra, which gets the bonus defense anyways. And this way I think we're in a pretty good spot. I guess the only downside is I don't know if I have any redirection here. Let's see here. Ooh, but we have Trait Dance. So they do have shield, but again, we can just Trait Dance the Watchtower. Well, that's pretty cool. And you know what? That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Give me that. I really just don't want to do 0 damage, and I also really don't want to give him free boosts. Because, you know, Protector getting free boosts is a pretty big deal. Okay, so they actually anticipated that. So what do we see? So they only have Tracker? Is that right? Okay. In that case, do I want to switch to Castellate? Maybe? You know what? I think now is a good time to switch into Castellate. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, they have a lot of spirit attackers. So, like, Castellate later on is going to be kind of bad, probably. So the question is there anything that they can switch into that will be a problem? I don't think so. I think I can just do this. And I don't think anything survives that can switch in. So, yeah. Yeah, okay, I think this is good. So obviously they can block and they'll survive, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so we got there, we got there. Yeah, this team is pretty solid. I was pretty impressed by that, how that piloted. Like there's just, like obviously you only have body attacks, but having trait dance is really nice to deal with like redirection and stuff. Actually, that's one thing on the team that I'm not like 100% sure about, because there's no anti-redirection for something like Clamor. You know, obviously there's trait dance through with Watchtower, which is really nice, but I didn't see anything like Rocket to deal with a Clamor user. Well, so I guess the good news is it's only really a problem if it's Maraptor, because Noizard has low body defense. So it's okay if Noizard switches in and pulls the attack, because it's just going to get exploded. Especially if it's Riplash with Launcher. So I'll probably just play like one more game with this team. Forgot to change the overlay again. Whatever. That's fine. But yeah, it's a really cool team. I do think, you know, the amount of damage it can do is somewhat limited. Well, it's specifically it has very little ways to deal with if Conjure goes down, you lose Provoke. And pretty much the only other disruption is Trait Dance. And Trait Dance is not like the best disruption in the game. Like, it's good, but Provoke is definitely a lot more universal. So I'd be slightly worried about this team against... Like, this team against stalled teams with Mystic, I feel like would be a really hard matchup. But maybe that's just me. Okay, so good news is we will get to cover for the perfect shot, because we have launch. So, curious to see how I do against this team when I don't have Rally as a crutch. Again, Rally being able to lower their damage is kind of a big deal. Okay, so perfect shot. Oh, is that the highest? Wait. How is... No, I'm crazy. Okay. So I think we just smack out of Castle here. That sounds like the best option. So let's go ahead and do that. That might have been a mistake. I just realized I did not do all the math. Okay, 98. Perfect. That's what we like to see. Okay, so let's see what... Oh, yeah, I have to... I could have dispelled, but I feel like I just need the damage. So I really don't want to see perfect shot again, so I'm going to go ahead and target the Goofster again. Yeah, I almost messed up the math there. Yeah, we love not doing math and not getting punished, yeah. Pretty much. That's definitely how it felt. Like, well, I guess I knew it was a 65 damage, but like, I didn't mentally register that that was in fact enough to not die. Okay, so what do we expect here? We can always see a slice. That's always an option. So the question is... Oh, I'm at +3? Is that real? Holy crap. You can't perfect shot. You can slice, but... I'm gonna high five into Castle. I'm pretty sure I survive. And then I'm gonna be so powerful. Like, look, I'm at +3. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what does a +3 Castle look like? I one-shot everything. So, I mean, I can dispel and provoke. There's not really anything to provoke though. Like, both of these things are gonna switch out, so like, it doesn't really matter. Whatever. This is fine. Oh, it actually moved up. Okay, so that's really good for us because actually, do we just win? No, we do not just win. Okay, so actually, so here's a question. So Maraptor's gonna come in, they're gonna pull it, and then it's just gonna be a matter of whether they perfect shot or not. But the problem is, not a whole lot survives perfect shot. I think we still do it. Okay. So yeah, they go ahead and come in. So I have a couple options here, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I do survive a perfect shot. So we're gonna just go ahead and do that, I think. Yeah, we'll go ahead. So we're gonna start with Riplash. And then as backup, we can go into Lunaptera. The reason we're going into Lunaptera last is because it's the one that has Torch Pass. And I kind of want to give Castellite some time to come back in case that's the one that I want to get back. So again, I'm simply not worried about, I'm not worried about a lot of things here, actually. Ooh, Zigzag. Zigzag is definitely a threat here. Yeah, this might not work out here, but okay. I think we are just going for the damage. I think we're gonna have to give up a point here because they are gonna have a lot of momentum here, and this Zigzag is gonna just do a bajillion damage. So what do I want to do here? Man, that perfect shot is gonna do a lot of damage too. Okay, I'm going to just click block here and just take the KO. Okay, that's totally fine. I just want to buy a little bit more time here. And specifically, yeah, so here's the situation. They have 2 low BCs on the field and they have no redirection. So at worst, I have a 50-50 here. And you know, obviously at best I just win the game. So I'm trying to think what the best option is here. So I believe I want to do this. So this is kind of the way for me to hopefully, yeah. I was trying to like minimize the damage that they could do, depending on the switch-ins they do and stuff like that. That's why I decided I guess I could maybe getting a damage boost was better in case I guessed wrong. But I mean, provoke is still useful because it stops the tactical pass. I don't know. I'm actually not 100% sure if that was the correct call. All right. I don't want to delay too much here because I really want to show off some other teams. So let's just go ahead and just do that right now. Let's go ahead and just try Dino's team here. Because it's just too much fun. I can't not try it. So this is a Dino team. Actually, before I go into like talking about this, let me just update the overlay here with the correct team code and who made the team. Okay, beautiful. And then let me fix the pinned message. Unpin this message. Yeah, so I don't know. I just like having links in chat to the team. You know, just in case anybody wants to see the team while I'm playing. There's just an easy link, you know, for people to just look at it. Since I don't have like the team listed on the side anymore. Okay, beautiful. So, no, I don't want to delete it. Okay, so Dino's team here. So obviously, Dino loves stall teams. This is not a stall team exactly, but it certainly has some elements from a control team, I should say. Excuse me. So Albrax by itself is very control oriented, but it works very well even on high damage teams. So, you know, Dispel Provoke is kind of the classic of really wanting to be able to provoke to stop shields. Because that goes really well with Tractor Beam. If you're able to, you know, trap in a low stamina beastie, and you can stop them from using any defense move that might make it so you can't knock them out, it's just a really good combo. We have the classic just cast elite, thump, launch, shield, you know, solid damage, have shield to stay on longer. We have Survivor, Rare Morph Lunaptra, which is awesome. Love to see it. Actually, the same set is the other one we saw, Muscle Memory, Spike, Torch Pass. But here's the thing, is we have Dugout with Unflappable. You always love to see it. Running Grit and Raw Fury. That's actually fascinating. So, okay, so the obvious combo is we have Dugout with Grit with Heatwave. And that's actually really interesting because you actually don't care about getting sweaty on your Mystic, especially if you're just going to use Hex anyways. So this seems like a really strong counter serve. Like, absurdly strong counter serve. Because if you're able to both activate Grit and Hex one of your opponents, like, that just sounds brutal. Okay, let's make some... I almost said let's make some people suffer, but I mean let's see how mean this team really is. Oh man. All right. Yeah, excited to see this. Again, shout out to Dino. Dino makes pretty unique teams. Just again, it's all these like different pieces that like you can see how they're viable, but like whenever you try a team with just like random control pieces put together, like it always feels bad, but Dino just magically seems to come up with these teams that, you know, just work really well together. Obviously this looks like it is more of an aggressive team, but again, it just has that kind of control flavor to it with the Albrax and the Hex Mystic. So I don't know, it's just really cool. Let's see if anybody's brave enough to queue into this. Not that, you know, people know, but... Oof, all right. Yeah, also, if there's any other teams that people have been seeing that are cool, definitely let me know. I'm trying to think, because, you know, I've definitely seen a few more teams. Like, I saw Bolomar's team, which looks pretty cool. I've seen a couple other people's team. Obviously, there's, you know, Knight's team using Crawler is awesome. Talked about that before, but trying to think of, like, what other teams that, like, really stood out as cool. I don't know. I mean, just as... Oh, okay, we found a match. Sunshine Novas. This looks like a... I was gonna say rally team. It might still be a rally team. Bandicraft is just an interesting choice if it is a rally team. I mean, Skiffrig could be Mind or Spirit. Ziphosaur has Cook for a Spirit team. Let's see. Okay, I'm on the left, so that's good. Bring the Heat, Rally, Shield. Minefield, Refresh. Oh, they're just running Refresh. Okay. Counter, Careful Shot, Scream. Okay, so there is a rally team. Confirmed. Confirmed rally team. Oh, I did the wrong lead. Actually, wait. I'm serving, so this is probably the correct lead. My brain is just starting to get fried, I guess. Okay. So the question is, do I want to hit what's trapped in or not? I feel like not. I feel like I want to hit this... Oh, okay. I was like, I want to hit the circus. That makes sense, right? Okay, but here they're gonna... They have a counter. So, ooh. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. So classic question, do I switch or... Actually, I could just block. No reason not to block, right? Wait, unless I get provoked. So they can provoke, refresh, and then the counter should be enough. So I'm going to go ahead and just move back. Yep, okay, so we see provoke. Oh, this is actually nice. Because they did move up, now they're in the front. And so now I can potentially launch them into the stratosphere. So, what do we want to do, actually? So, I mean, I think Dispel Provoke is the obvious choice here. Yeah, we might as well use Launch. So, they can survive this. The one way they survive is they back up. Yeah, that's exactly what they do. So, they are going to get another counter. Yeah, and unfortunately, I got provoked, so my shield is not up yet. So the question is, okay, what do I want to switch into here? I think Dugout is a decent choice here because Dugout should survive. Oh, wait, with traps? Okay, I still survive. Whew. I didn't think about traps, but that's still fine. So we should, 35, really? Still not enough damage. But you know what? That's okay. It's okay that we're not quite doing enough damage here. Because, oh crap, and they're about to be, yeah. Okay, so I kind of messed up here. Because I was thinking, oh, I'll be able to torch pass, but they're not going to be angry anymore. Yeah, that's kind of rough. Yeah, they're not going to be angry anymore, so they're going to be able to provoke again. Yeah, that's pretty rough. All right, so I'm not going to be able to torch pass, which is really rough. Oh, but we have another torch passer. Let's just double check, make sure we don't get exploded. No, we're good. Okay. Okay, this is not what the team should look like, by the way. I'm definitely not playing this the best that I could. But now we are guaranteed a point, which is good. Dispel, provoke, muscle memory. I mean, we could spike. It doesn't matter because they do not have a redirection. So that was a very expensive point that we just got. Unfortunately. All right. So thankfully we got that. So the option is we could go for... Yeah, so it's kind of a shame that Albrax is just trapping in the Bandicraft here. But actually, it's not so bad only because if they volley, that automatically brings them to the front. Okay, Scream. Scream is actually not that bad here. Let's Torch Pass. I'm trying to think if we're ever going to get to freeball them. Okay, the safe play is to Torch Pass into Dugout, so that's what I'm going to do. I should survive. Yep, there we go. 50, not too bad. So, what does more? I guess, I mean, Raw Fury does technically more. So yeah, we're just gonna keep doing what we've been doing here. So the good news is, they don't have Provoke on the field, so I can just Torch Pass this next turn. And basically, if I'm able to loop all the way back around to Dugout coming back, which admittedly might be kind of hard, then I'll be able to do okay here. Actually, maybe I should have... Wait, it did exactly 50 before, right? Yeah, I think it did exactly 50 before. Maybe I should have moved to the front so I could have blocked it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, we're just gonna torch pass out. It's okay. I really wish I had a front row move. Oh, man. Alright, I guess we're just kind of stuck on the current path we have chosen for ourselves. So the good news is they're having to spend every defensive action just moving back, which is actually pretty nice. If we still take 36. Man, it seems like everything just exactly dies. Okay, Minefield, we don't care about, because we can just Dispel Provoke anyways. And in fact, we can do this. Actually, wait, that means we win, right? I think so. They don't have any redirection, I don't think. Okay, awesome. Well, it's really funny that we kept Albrex in the whole game, and like, yes, it forced them to keep moving backwards, but it didn't seem to do a whole lot besides that. But then right in the critical moment, Albrex is able to move over, stop the tag out, and get the victory. Man, it's pretty good. All right, yeah, let's play another game with that. Heck yeah. Brax and Bandy just having to stare down while everybody else takes hits in the face. Yeah, it was really funny. Like, I didn't want to hit Bandicraft because Bandicraft wouldn't take that much damage. And also, if I hit Bandicraft, then, you know, it takes less damage, and also be able to get more traps off, which traps I was kind of worried about. I mean, obviously, with Bouncy Skiffrig, like, you could still traps, but Skiffrig often wanted to use Provoke instead. So, like, I don't know. It was a little tough, but yeah. Yeah, and the Minefield Quake didn't matter because it hit tough. Well, and that's the thing. That's the interesting thing is, like, sometimes hitting Quake into their Dispel is okay because the Quake still stays on their field if they Dispel. But if you hit into tough, then it just never applies the Quake in the first place. Now I'm mostly talking about Minefield and Eruption and like Rumble. Because you do passively lose one Quake stack every turn. So like if they boom and then you Dispel, it'll be gone by the time your next turn comes around. But if they Minefield and then you Dispel, then like if for some reason your Dispeller gets provoked next turn, you will still have Quake on your field. So sometimes it matters. I don't know. Oof. Yeah. But yeah, that's an interesting team. Okay, I have to remember. If I am receiving, I have to use Dugout. I have to use Dugout and Mystic because I do want to try that combo. That combo just seems so nasty. Although I do like the fact that the team also has a good serve with launch. I do appreciate that. Again, I definitely find that it's more important for your team to have good serve than it is your team to have a good counter serve. Well, I should say, you know, especially. No, I would just say in general. Maybe it's just a me thing. Like, having a really nasty counter serve is fun. It's fun to just immediately explode the other team. But the thing is, only half your games are going to be receives, right? I mean, typically. Um, so and the thing is, receiving usually is, you know, favored regardless because you get the first full offensive turn. So yeah, it's just kind of my preference that I think having a good serve is more important. But again, this team has both. This team has launch for serve and Heatwave Grit for counter serve. So it's cool stuff. I'm trying to think what would mess with the counter serve. Okay, well, doesn't matter. Okay, so we're serving again. Um, okay, they definitely could have provoked, so I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna lead anything else. I'll just go ahead and do the normal lead. Okay, is this Riplash? Okay, this Riplash is launcher, and I do have shield. Oh, they have thunder. Fascinating. That almost makes me not want to click launch. Do they have any front row moves? They do not. They have no front row moves. That's fascinating. Oh well. So maybe I actually want to hit them. Because that way they can't set up drum either. You know what? I think I am going to hit their Masquerade. Oh, they actually moved up. It's going to do so much damage. Well, so the reason I did that is because my tractor beam is on them. That was it. That was my entire thought process. So muscle memory cannot... Ooh, wait. No, they do not have a boosting volley. So they cannot KO me. What do I think? Do I think they're gonna move? I'm just gonna block, I think. Okay, they did juggle, which made me happy about my decision, but they stole my tractor beam, which is kind of funny. So what is gonna do more damage? I have to imagine it's Thump, right? Other than the freeze ray, yeah, definitely. So, okay, but the question is, do I want to move back? No, I can't imagine I do, right? So we're going to do that. We're going to provoke, probably. And then just thump. I don't know. That sounds reasonable, right? So, okay. Ooh, that's probably high spirits, isn't it? Yep, it's high spirits with excited pass. So, goodbye, everyone. They're probably gonna knock out Albrecht though. That's my guess. What do I want to do here? Actually, this is a really interesting scenario because there are some ways I could survive. Funnily enough. You know what? I think I'm gonna do this. This is a really... Oh, they use drum? Oh no, do I die to this? No, I don't. Wait, they used drum. Okay. Again, I was worried about I was just gonna get knocked out, but I guess not. The thing is, I'm okay just like taking very favorable damage trades. Because like, I mean, again, muscle memory is not doing that much damage. Wait, did they have quickset? Oh, they have quickset. I'm just dead. Wait, does that... No, it's not. I'm going to shield, actually. Let's see what happens. Oh, they have tough front. That's okay, though. Ooh, what do I do here? Well, this is really interesting. Who do I want to provoke? I think I provoke... I don't know. You know what? I don't think it matters. I think the provoke's gonna get cleared anyways. Yeah, they just ran back. That's fine. Alright. So... Yeah, they can quickset anyways. Oh, no, okay, they did not heal enough. Okay, we're just gonna... Actually, wait, what am I doing? I want to switch Albrecht's out. I don't know what I've been doing this whole time. I guess it's a Mystic? I don't know, actually. Okay, so they get the KO. That's fine. It's not a big deal. It's probably just gonna be you, right? Ooh, wait, I could switch back into Albrecht's. That's really funny. Wait, does Albrecht's KO though? No. Okay. Maybe Mystic was not the best idea. That's really funny. Okay, well, whatever. This is fine. Oh yeah, you can mention... Yeah, Kim, that's fine. You can mention what bash score I got. That's fine. I usually don't announce my bash score ahead of time just because I don't want to, like, discourage people or do anything. Like, I don't want to influence people by me posting my bash score before the bash is over. But if you want to post it, that's fine. I don't mind. So I guess I just dispel. Unfortunately, Hex doesn't do anything right now, so... Okay, so yeah, I'm trapped in, but that's fine. I just want to hit this slot. Okay, beautiful. So that's fine with me. So the good news is, as long as they don't provoke me, I can always torch pass out, so I'm never, like, super afraid of that. In fact, Heat Wave sounds pretty good right now. Heat Wave sounds good because I want to torch pass out anyways. Oh, that's... Uh-oh. That's fascinating. Wait. Oh, they took my trait. Oh, what? I'm the one with Tractor Beam. Okay. Oh, this is so weird. This is such a weird situation. But I think this is actually okay because now I can... I'm not sure what to do. I've never been in this situation. Help! This is so funny. Oh my god. I can... So I think what I do... This is really stupid. But I'm going to... Volley? Hex? Question mark? I gotta do something. Alright, we're gonna Hex Riplash. Because it has the trait of intangible. This is so funny. I've never been in a situation like this ever. This is the most insane thing. Oh my goodness. And the thing is, I can switch out to another Albrax. This is just so whack. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna switch into another Albrax here. Alright. And I think... Wait, I think that's game. Oh no, what am I talking about? Game? I'm the one down points. Oh, that's really funny. Okay, but this is at least an opportunity for me to come back in the game. Is there anything I need to worry about? I don't think so. I think I just move up Volley Spike. Yeah, okay. So this should be a KO. Okay, beautiful. Wait, is this muscle? Yeah, this muscle memory is enough. Okay, so that should be game. All right, wow. We managed to outlast the other team. What an absolutely crazy game, though. Yeah, that was really funny. Well, okay, so the other thing is, Trait Dance with Tractor Beam, like, I really have to double check where the Tractor Beam is, like, which beastie is actually trapping which other beastie. Just because it's not, like, super obvious with the visual effect. It's just a line between the two, right? I don't know if I looked at, like, the circle that's around each one of them, if that gives it away, but, like, yeah, that was so funny. Man, this is a really fun team. All right, but that's a fun team, but I do want to try my last team while I have time here. And that is my absolute just silly team of Never Leave with Superillo. All right, so the whole point of this team was somebody wanted to come up with a good use of Relentless outside of Orgella. So obviously Orgella can wipe itself and give itself shook, which means Relentless is a good attack for it because Relentless doesn't care if you're shook. But, so somebody was like, oh, Relentless should be good on somebody else, right? So it's like, is there any... So literally what I did is I went to beastieball.info. Thank you, Jay Davis, for the wonderful website. I literally went there. I went to the list of beasties, and then I filtered on if anything had both Relentless and Hyperspike, because Relentless lets you attack even if you're tired. So you're not just, dead after using Hyperspike. And Daredillo, I think, is the only one who has both Relentless and Hyperspike. So I'm like, okay, let me just try making a Daredillo team. So you can see with, I have 2 sources of redirection to keep it alive. I have Tough Front to keep it alive. I took Tough Front over Shield because of a reason that I can't remember. I gotta be completely honest. My brain is kind of melting here a little bit, so apologies for not being able to explain that reasoning. But, I mean, Tough Front or Shield, either one is probably fine. Oh, I think the reason I did it is because I wanted the defense turn to be able to swap in other beasties. I think that's the reason. But anyways. Or to be able to, like, have Tough up and still also block. So if they hit... I mean, I don't know why they hit Daredillo letters. It doesn't matter. So I have 2 sources of redirection. I have a source of boosting with Demanding Set. And again, I don't care about the Tired from Demanding Set because I have Relentless. And then I have Lay Trap and Dump just to give some other sideways pressure. And then Supalero is probably like the most interesting pick on this team just because it's a really good pivot. I did pick the Forager trait so that, yes, it's going to do less damage with Dive. But I can just keep constantly switching it in for things and then quick tagging out. So that basically, it makes it a lot harder for my team to run out of gas and just kind of get whittled down. So, yeah. It is, in fact, a Daredillo. We're going to get to see it in action here pretty soon. Okay, let me update the overlay one more time for the last team. Let's go here. Let's go to current team code. Let's change this. And so I have played this team in some casual games, and it's so much fun to play. I just really enjoyed it. It definitely gets a little more hard countered than maybe some other teams, but it like the synergy is real. Like, it's not a complete joke team. So there's the team code for anybody interested. If anybody wants just a link to view the team while I'm playing. So there we go. All right. So I want to play at least a game or 2 with this team, and then I'll probably wrap it up because it has been, going on 4 hours now, and I don't want to push it too much. So, oh yeah, so Kim, Tornado Ball serve shouldn't be an issue just because you can swap into, well, I mean, okay, you can't do anything about Cyclone, but you can swap in a redirector if they have Tornado Ball. So, either Noizard or, the Watchtower user. And that way, Daredillo doesn't immediately get ejected, thankfully. But yeah, we're gonna see. I'm curious to see how it's gonna do in a bash setting. Obviously, casuals are casuals, right? People are just kind of playing whatever they want. And there are also 3-point games, which, to be honest, I think this team probably does better in 2-point than 3-point, but maybe not. I mean, the fact that, again, the whole point is like Daredillo never leaves the field, if at all possible. Even when it's wiped, it can just stay on the field because who cares if it's wiped? It can still attack. Okay. Oh, look at this. We have a triple Kitchik team. You'll love to see it. All right. I'm excited to see how this goes. All right. Or, yeah, you could also swap out. Like, if they're going to Tornado Ball Daredillo and you don't have redirection, you could swap out to whatever's in the last slot, and then it would get swapped back in. That's, that's not guaranteed. They could, like, free ball instead, but, like, it's a good option. All right. I don't remember. They do have Dispel, Whistle, Drum. There's not really any reason not to hit Kitchik, though. That's one of the downsides of Kitchik is, it does not have very good spirit defense. It has 45 in the back row, so, maybe not the best. Okay. both launcher thump. So Daredillo can move to the front for free, which is kind of nice. Just because it has its trait. Okay, they hit Bandicraft anyways. Okay, so this is the plan. We hit Demanding Set, and we hit Delay Trap, and then we hit either Hyper Spike or Relentless. Actually, either is fine. Okay, so they actually have, they do have Noisy on, but you see Hyper Spike does more than double the damage. So I think it's still worth it. I think so. I don't see a big reason not to Hyper Spike here. Okay. So, ooh, you know what? I probably should have Tough Run it. That's actually a mistake, I think. So Vigor Beam, yeah, Vigor, see how much damage Vigor Beam does. Wait a minute, Vigor Beam, Daredillo survives Vigor Beam? Am I reading that correctly? That's hilarious. Okay. Do I just switch to Super Lero then? Because it'll survive that. No problem. Okay. Okay, so we are at +1. Yeah, and I think that's enough. Okay, so here's our plan. We volley, we quick tag back. Who do we want to quick tag into, though? That's the question. So obviously Bandicraft gives us more damage, but Demolipede gives us a lot better defensive. Do they have... Okay, they do have Slice. I'm gonna go into Demolipede, I think, and then Relentless. I think we're just gonna go for the safe play here. Oh, okay, they switched to Noizard anyways. So I didn't want to see a oh, they don't have shield. That's the thing. Okay, well then I probably, well, they could have blocked and then stayed in. I don't know. It's fine. Okay, so we're still, wait, why does it do more damage now? Oh, because they're healthier now, because I guess they took some damage from before. Well, whatever. I mean, Demolipede is gonna survive either way. So, oh, but we could have... Okay, crazy move. I think they're gonna Slice. Nope, they sure did. Oh, it looks so dumb. That's really funny. Okay, no problem though. So, well, we can just go back to original plan, right? Wait, Lush is 54? Oh no. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, I guess we just take this. Okay, now I'm gonna do what I should have done before. Tough Front, forward pass. Probably Hyper Spike. Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, it's just a good option, right? Man, I thought they were gonna do the fancy play of trying to use Slice, and so that if I moved Daredillo back before, they would just hit the front row. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna not do that, but that was kind of dumb. All right, man, they still have Vigor Beam, but it's okay because I can shield. Actually, I made a mistake. I needed to hit the Castlete. I needed to hit the Castlete just to get this this Vigor Beam to not do so much dang damage. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, now they get a boost. And they're going to be able to switch back in. Yeah, this is actually a really bad spot. Well, okay, so do I want to move back or anything? Wait, what? What? Oh, because I'm tough. I think I actually need to stay in the front here. Okay, well, we're doing this, but they're going to switch back to Noizard. Yeah. Okay, so this is just a 50-50. I think. Wait. I think I'm just dead. Uh, well, rip. Well, GG. Well played. Man, making that risky play really backfired on me, huh? Yeah, triple attack athlete is pretty funny. But hey, congrats to I think that was Reverie who was my opponent. I don't remember. But congrats to them. Okay, I'm gonna do one more run. Yeah, it has to win some awards. It's such a great team having all three of the Kishik line on a team. That's great. But I really want to win a game with this Daredillo team of mine. Again, I would have had a better shot if I didn't mess it up there. But that's okay. I have time for at least one more game. So let's do that. Well, this has definitely been fun. Thanks for everybody who stopped by, and again, I hope everybody else had fun playing the bash. So it's definitely a good time. Good time to just be able to queue up for matches and play some games. It's definitely good. And again, it's always nice because you get a really good variety of people. Because you get people who maybe wouldn't be looking for matches in the Discord. So it's good. It's good stuff. Yeah, I did at least make it to +1 bonus star for the bash. Yeah, because all the extra stars you get and stuff give you sports points, I think. So that is nice. And yeah, that drum heal strengthening the vigor beam was pretty unfortunate for me. All right. I guess the queue has slowed down a little bit. Well, I guess if I'm waiting, I can plug the Heat Wave tournament that's going to be coming up in 2 weeks. Oh, okay. It looks like we have a rematch. Sweet. Okay, so I messed up last time. I'm not going to mess up this time. I think. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to Tough Run. I'm going to Demanding Set. And do I just Relentless, actually? Yeah, I just Relentless. I don't need to Hyper Spike. Although I guess I'm going to be tired next turn anyways, so I guess it wouldn't have really mattered. I don't know. Well, at least we got a quick first point, so... okay, what do we got? So at least Vigor Beam is not going to explode me this time, hopefully. I mean, I guess I don't know for sure, but... Ooh, is there... only 29? Let's see. No, I need to do at least 40 if I want to do funnies. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to move up. So I think launch KOs. Yeah, it does. But this gives me the opportunity to do this. Alright, so we're going to get the forward pass. Oh, this is slice, isn't it? Yeah. Crap, what do I do here? Okay, I'm actually just gonna move to the front. That's probably a mistake, but... Oh, wait! I forgot! They can't switch in Noizard. Okay, so this is actually perfect then. So I can just shield here, right? Yeah, I can just shield. Yeah, so I wanted to like be in the front for extra damage, but then I also wanted to be able to have them you know, in the same row. Okay, so we're gonna... Ooh, what do we do here? Okay, thankfully this is exactly enough to KO, which is like really good for us. We're just gonna back up and we're gonna Relentless. Oh, because now I didn't have... Ah, crap. Well, man. They got me again. Oh, man. Well, GG. Well, actually, wait. Okay, so this is not guaranteed. Never mind. I just have to make a choice. So I will make a choice. So I could technically live here. Okay, so I think I live. Okay, beautiful. Oh, but dive is enough? Question mark. Well, I guess this is the only play I can make. Yeah, I guess I do this. Yeah, unfortunately block is enough to save him. And now I'm in the same situation. Except worse. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I think that's it. Man, well played. Well played. Ah! Man. Tough, but you know, that's how it goes. Yeah, I'm trying to think what I could have done better there. Like, definitely, I think what it is, I need to just save Hyperspike. I need to save Hyperspike for when they need to switch in Noizard. Because, yeah, really just dealing with Noizard is really tough. And the thing is, my Relentless does, you know, it does decent damage to the Kitchiks because they just have really low spirit defense. So I feel like I should be okay just continually clicking Relentless into them. Yeah, but definitely, they definitely played well. All right, okay. I am not quite at the 4-hour mark, so I'm gonna try one more time. I'm gonna try one more time to get a win with this team. I want to prove that it's not just a joke. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, because I'm trying to think. So like getting, obviously, you know, a lot of times I open with trying to think maybe. Well, okay, I got a score immediately that last game. But at least if I don't get a score immediately, I can always... Yeah, the problem is I'm really incentivized to use Hyperspike right after using Demanding Set, just because I'm going to become tired anyways, right? But then I don't have access to Hyperspike when there's a Noizard switch, so... yeah. Well, look, you know, it's... Look, it's also just about... It's just as much about, you know, piloting the team as it is about the team strength itself. Because, yeah, obviously, you know, playing uh, a team with two not fully evolved beasties is, you know, it's a little bit of a meme, right? And so you never want to lose to that, but, um, you know, it's still fun to try. I'm sure there's some other teams still out there too. We won't necessarily only fight against Reverie 3 times in a row. Yeah, Rev is a pretty good player for sure. But yeah, I actually did Reverie use that team the whole bash? Because if they did, I'd be really curious to see how they did. Okay, so we get a team that we faced before actually. Um, Definitely has a lot of sideways moves, but the good. So here's the thing: is like Noizard isn't at a disadvantage now because there's no body attackers I have to worry about. So okay, so they did. All right, awesome. All right, so Echo Strike. Echo Strike is actually just not a problem, right? I think I can just go with my regular game plan. Ah, but I got angry because of the Echo Strike. That's actually kind of smart, actually. I could go for Dump, but the problem is they have Slice, which makes me kind of not want to do that. You know, obviously the other option is to just immediately go for Relentless or Hyper Spike. Yeah, let's just go ahead and double volley, and I think we just use Relentless. I think we don't have to go crazy too much yet. Well, because the other thing is I didn't get Demanding Set. So, like, if I don't have Demanding Set, why the heck would I try to do anything else? So this is actually a really interesting situation, because if they try to slice the front, I can move Bandicraft up. But obviously Daredillo just explodes to basically anything else. So the safe play is probably to switch out into Noizard. You know what? I'm doing it. Oh no, they just perfect shot. That's fine. No problem. All right, well, we're going to our backup plan. We can always get Daredillo back in here. All right, well, so the good news is I can actually just click Dump here, but I also have the threat of Dive. So... Nah, I think I'm just gonna double juggle Dive here. I think that sounds pretty good. I don't see why not. Get a little extra damage on there. Oh, they do move up. So this is actually not a bad spot. Let's see. Okay, so let's switch back into Noizard for a second here. Just because, again, I don't want to deal with the front row pressure. I guess I could have moved Bandicraft up, maybe? I'm actually not sure. Because both of my beasties are relatively healthy. Okay, so we do see Tactical Pass. Yeah, so we do see the Slice. Alright, so let's see here. So the good news is I can provoke here, which is kind of nice. I do have monster block. Okay, so they're gonna have to switch out anyways. You know what? I think this is safe. Yeah, because they can't block or anything like that. Okay, so that's fine. So they can ricochet. Ooh, oh, ricochet's enough? They can also quick set, but that's not enough to do anything. So I guess I kind of have to block. Yeah, I'm curious to see what they choose to go for here. I don't think they KO with a +1 boost. I don't think. You know, assuming I blocked them. So yeah, should live. But I'm just curious who they're going to target, because, you know, if they target Noiser, then I can quick tag. But, you know, also being able to double juggle is nothing. Okay, so they did go for Noiser. So I can quick tag. Okay, how much does Hyper Spike do? 103. Okay. Well, I mean, that's one way to get another score. I mean, maybe that's just what I do. Yeah, because they don't have shield or anything. Okay, so let's do quick tag to Daredillo, volley, and then Hyper Spike. Yep, might as well. Gotta get a point sometime. And the nice thing is Monster Block doesn't do anything. I can still attack. What actually, who do I target here? Oh, you know what? Okay, so this might seem a little weird, but I actually feel like I have to target the other slot just because I can't afford for them to switch in and be able to use Slice. Okay, beautiful. So, okay, Echo Strike and Numb Shot, neither of them should be a problem, so we're going into Bandcraft. Alright, let's see. Okay, so I feel like I would not say we're winning, but we're in an okay position. Like, we can do okay with this. Okay, so now we have an option. Do we go up and click dump, or do we demanding set into Relentless? So Relentless is enough to KO the Maraptor. How much damage do they do to us? Not like a ton. I think I'm gonna do this. I think this is what I'd rather do. Okay, so they do read it. So the reason I did that, okay, obviously I like Daredillo, right? I want Daredillo to be the star of the team and win and everything like that, right? But getting 2 low stamina beasties on the field is really nice. And I can still switch into Supalero here. And if they hit Bandicraft, then all of a sudden I can quick tag into Demanding Set and still have Daredillo Hyperspike. So I feel like this is the better kind of rotation. But we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. Again, they shouldn't be able to KO Bandicraft here. So it all comes down to what I can do with this turn. This turn might be like my last real turn. Okay, so first of all, how much damage does Hyper Spike do? Wait, is that it? Did I do it? They don't have redirection because Maraptor's already on the field. Quick tag, Daredillo, Demanding Set, Hyper Spike. Wait, do they have shield? I have to check that. Okay, I think we did it. I think so. All right, yeah, we did it. See, this team can win. This team can win games when it's not against body teams. All right. Well, yes, that is a turn. Quick tag into Demanding Set into Hyperspike. Yes, but Daredillo finally got its well-deserved victory, which is great. You love to see it. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you everybody for showing up. I hope I was somewhat entertaining and able to show off some cool teams. So, yeah, that was a tough team. Well, I mean, that's where like the matchups that different teams have matters somewhat. Because obviously, my team is a little fragile, and like even more so than my rally team, like Noiser is the glue that holds everything together. So if there's like really strong body attackers, like on the whole enemy team, it can be just really hard. Well, actually, let me restate that also. this Daredillo team does struggle with redirection itself, just because it doesn't have any moves that ignore redirection. So, like, when I was playing against Reverie's team, like, again, the Noiser was just really hard to deal with. If I didn't have Hyper Spike, it basically took no damage from my my other moves. So, it was just, again, I feel like somewhat of a team matchup. Obviously, like, not to take credit away from Reverie. Reverie is a great player, but, you know, some teams will naturally struggle against some more than others. But yeah, I mean, the team I just faced was certainly not a bad team. But they also started with their redirection, and I was able to get them kind of low, so they weren't able to kind of abuse redirection later. And also just, you know, Noiser's really good against mine teams, because my Noiser's mine defense is really good. And actually, most of my team's mine defense is pretty good. So, yeah. Yep. Oh, man. All right. Well, thanks again. Appreciate everybody stopping by. And I hope everybody else who is still going to play in the Bash has fun and good luck. And, well, I will see you later. Adios.